stream fully, just restart all over again. Oh shit, I forgot to put the thing in. Dang, I forgot. It's annoying. Hold up. Let's see. Oh, I probably have to refresh the entire stream. Oh, I didn't even think about that. I probably just should have like refreshed everything. But this is fine too. I'm just gonna like wait a little bit. And then there we go. I think I did like an hour and something last time, and we're gonna do like what, an hour, another hour afterwards. Oh, I turned like all of this stuff off. Let me see. Here we go. That's better. That, and then well, oh, maybe I should have done that. Maybe I should have done a what is it called? Starting screen, just to make everybody delusional for a second. Feel like I didn't actually stream. What am I looking for? Looking for something. This one. Alright. Okay. Anyway, so I was reading The Hunger Games. We stopped at chapter 18. Is where we stopped. Chapter 18. Oh, wait, the 3-minute ad break. Maybe I should have. Maybe I should have. Hi, Beachery. Hi. Maybe I should have. Let me see. I'm just giving everybody a minute, because I like stopped. I like stopped for a second, so we're just gonna wait. I didn't feel like doing a, what is it called? A starting screen. I didn't feel like doing a starting screen again, so. Let me see. Oh, jeez. Already, sorry. You got like immediately clapped. I'm so sorry. You got like immediately clapped because I was looking through stuff. I'm looking through some stuff. I hope you're doing well. I'm gonna start reading. I'll probably start reading in like 5 minutes. Just to give everybody a minute. Thank you for that. The emotes, they're super cute. I'll probably start reading in like 5 or so minutes. Just because I did stopped stream earlier and I want to give people a second to come back. So I said 5 minutes or so. I'd be right back. Alright. Okay, we last left off on chapter 18. Wow. We last left off on chapter 18. And I should probably reread that on page 232 just because I feel like that was like super dramatic and we just slid right past that. It was like extremely dramatic. And we slid right past it. So I'm gonna do it again. Rue, I shout back, so she knows I'm near, so they know I'm near, and hopefully the girl who has attacked them with tracker jackers and gotten an 11 they still can't explain will be enough to pull their attention away from her. Rue, I'm coming. When I break into the clearing, she's on the ground, hopelessly entangled in a net. She has just enough time to reach her hand through the mesh and say my name before the spear enters her body. Also, I just realized I'm starting a brand new stream, so I should probably explain what this is that we're doing. I'm reading The Hunger Games, the first book by Suzanne Collins. Such an amazing book. We're almost done with it actually, since we're on chapter 18 now. Also, Mac, thank you for being first. Thank you. Okay. First kiss of all the streams, it seems. Alright. Chapter 18. The boy from District 1 dies before he can pull out the spear. My arrow drives deeply into the center of his neck. He falls to his knees and halves the brief remainder of his life by yanking out the arrow and drowning in his own blood. I'm reloaded, shifting my aim from side to side while I shout at Rue, "Are there more? Are there more?" She has to say no several times before I can hear it. Rue is rolled to her side, her body curved in and around the spear. I shove the boy away from her and pull out my knife, freeing her from the net. One look at the wound, and I know it's far beyond my capacity to heal. Beyond anyone's, probably. The spearhead is buried up to half the shaft in her stomach. I crouch before her, staring helplessly at the embedded weapon. There's no point in comforting words in telling her she'll be alright. She's no fool. Her hand reaches out, and I clutch it like a lifeline, as if it's me who's dying instead of Rue. You blow up the food, she whispers. Every last bit of it, I say. You have to win, she says. I'm going to. I'm gonna win for both of us now. I promise. I hear a cannon and look up. It must be from the boy from District 1. Don't go. Rue tightens her grip on my hand. Of course not. I'm staying right here, I say. I move in closer to her, pulling her head onto my lap. I gently brush the dark, thick hair behind her ear. Sing, she says, but I barely catch a word. Sing, I think. Sing what? I do know a few songs. Believe it or not, there was once music in my house too. Music I helped make. My father pulled me in with that remarkable voice. But I haven't sung much since he died, except when Prim was very sick. Then I sing her the same song she liked as a baby. Sing, is tight with tears, hoarse from smoke and fatigue. But if this is Rue's last request, I have to at least try. The song that comes to me is a simple lullaby, one we sing fretful, hungry babies to sleep with. It's old, very old, I think, made up long ago in our hills. What my music teacher calls a mountain air. But the words are easy and soothing, promising tomorrow will be more hopeful than this awful piece of time we call today. I give a small cough, swallow hard, and begin. Deep in the meadow, under the willow, a bed of grass, a soft green pillow. Lay down your head and close your sleepy eyes. And when again they open, the sun will rise. Here, it's safe. Here, it's warm. Here, the daisies guard you from every harm. Here, your dreams are sweet, and tomorrow brings them true. Here's the place where I love you. Rue's eyes have fluttered shut. Her chest moves, but only slightly. My throat releases the tears, and they slide down my cheeks. But I have to finish the song for her. Deep in the meadow, hidden far away, a cloak of leaves, a moonbeam ray. Forget your woes and let your troubles lay. And when again it's morning, they'll wash away. Here it's safe. Here it's warm. Here the daisies guard you from every harm. The final lines are barely audible. Here, your dreams are sweet, and tomorrow brings them true. Here's the place where I love you. Everything's still and quiet. Then, almost eerily, the mockingjays take up my song. For a moment, I sit there, watching my tears drip down on her face. Rue's cannon fires. I lean forward and press my lips against her temple. Slowly, as if not to wake her, I lie her head back on the ground and release her hand. They'll want me to clear out now, so they can collect the bodies. And there's nothing to stay for. I roll the boy from District 1 onto his face and take his pack, retrieve the arrow that ended his life. I cut Rue's pack from her back as well, knowing she'd want me to have it, but leave the spear in her stomach. Weapons and bodies will be transported to the hovercraft. I have no use for a spear, so the sooner it's gone from the arena, the better. I can't stop looking at Rue, smaller than ever, a baby animal curled up in a nest of netting. I can't bring myself to leave her like this, past harm and seemingly utterly defenseless. To hate the boy from District 1 who also appears so vulnerable in death seems inadequate. It's the capital I hate for doing this all to us. Gale's voice is in my head, his ravings against the capital, no longer pointless, no longer to be ignored. Rue's death has forced me to confront my own fury against the cruelty, the injustice they inflict upon us. But here, even more strongly than at home, I feel my impotence. There's no way to take revenge on the capital, is there? Then I remember Peta's words on the roof. Only I keep wishing I could think of a way to show the capital they don't own me, that I'm more than just a piece in their games. And for the first time, I understand what he means. I want to do something right here, right now, to shame them, to make them accountable, to show the capital that whatever they do or force us to do, there is a part of every tribute they can't own, that Rue was more than a piece in their games, and so am I. A few steps into the woods grows a bank of wildflowers. Perhaps they really are weeds of some sort, but they have blossoms in beautiful shades of violets and yellow and white. I gather up an armful and come back to Rue's side, slowly, one step at a time. I decorate her body in the flowers, covering the ugly wound, wreathing her face, weaving her hair with bright colors. They'll have to show it. Or, even if they choose to turn the cameras elsewhere at this moment, they'll have to bring them back when they collect the bodies, and everyone will see her then and know that I did it. I step back and take a last look at Rue. She could really be asleep in that meadow after all. Bye, Rue, I whisper. I press the 3 middle fingers of my left hand against my lips and hold them out in her direction. Then I walk away without looking back. The birds fall silent. Somewhere, a mockingjay gives a warning whistle that precedes the hovercraft. I don't know how it knows. It must hear things that humans can't. I pause, my eyes focused on what's ahead, not what's happening behind me. Doesn't take long. Then, the general bird song begins again, and I know she's gone. Another mockingjay, a young one by the look of it, lands on a branch before me and bursts out Rue's melody. My song, the hovercraft, were too unfamiliar for this novice to pick up, but it has mastered her handful of notes, the ones that mean she's safe, good and safe, I say, as I pass under its branch. We don't have to worry about her now. Good and safe. When I read that the first time, I literally burst into tears, like something about, like the imagery there, like of Katniss singing This Little Black Girl, like as she's breathing her last breaths and knowing that only in death that this girl could find peace is truly tragic. Like it's Suzanne Collins, when I find you. Suzanne Collins, when I find you, count your days, count your days. Suzanne Collins, when I find you. Suzanne Collins, like seriously, when I find you, it's so good. Like I absolutely love it. I absolutely love it. I really do. I really, really do. It's just so good. And even just the way that Katniss like responds to it. Like Katniss does not sing. Katniss and her too, when she's like, if this is Prim's last request, and then she corrects herself. Yeah, I have it right here on page 234. but if this is Prim's, I mean Rue's last request, I'll at least have to try. It's just so like it just reinforces that for her, like this really was Prim. Even though they're so different, it's just I like burst into tears. Suzanne Collins, when I find you. Suzanne Collins, when I find you. Oh, when I find you. Miss Suzanne. Okay. Oh wait, this is the wrong page. Hold on. This is the right one. I had to go back a couple of pages. How to get back in the capital. Yeah, and then you get a Mockingjay that appears right after Rue has died. It's literally as though like Rue has been reborn as a Mockingjay, which is later like spoilers for The Hunger Games, old ass book, but spoilers that I'm reading right now. That becomes the symbol, right, for the rebellion. And that Rue was a major part of that. It's just Suzanne Collins, when I get my hands on you, I won't do anything, I'll ask you for an autograph. I'm not gonna do anything, I'm gonna ask you politely for an autograph, please. Please, 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 and thank you, please. Please and thank you. Okay. I have no idea where to go. The brief sense of home I had that one night with Rue has vanished. I remember that the name of one of the books was Mockingjay, and that explains why. That's the last book. So it's The Hunger Games, Catching Fire, and then Mockingjay is the last book. Which we could talk about that when we get to that book, whenever we get to that book, but I have a lot to say about Mockingjay. I think Catching Fire is the best book. It's the best book. But Mockingjay is my favorite book. It's everybody's least favorite book except for me. It's everybody's least favorite book except for me. It's my favorite book. I think about that book all the fucking time. It's my favorite. Like, I wanted my favorite book to be, I think I wanted my least favorite book. Oh, sorry, not my least favorite. I don't have a least favorite. I think I wanted my favorite book to be Catching Fire because that's just the best book in the series. It is. Objectively, it's the best book. It's the best movie and it's the best book. But Mockingjay, baby, we're in Drama City. And you know how much I love drama. We're in Drama City. Oh, I love it. I absolutely love it. We're in Drama City. Yeah, it's good. Yeah, it's really good. I love it so much. There's nothing you can tell me about it. Also, I the Grand Witch Bean. I always want to say the Grand Bean Witch, even though that's not her name. I always want to say Bean Witch, even though that's not it at all. But I it's me. I have to pause every single time I say your name because I'm like, no, that's not your name. No, that's not it. I'm like, no, it's not Bean Witch. It's Witch Bean. Getting mod checked. Yeah. Everybody's on a mod check today. Everyone's on a cool mod check today. Call me whatever. No, we're okay. We're okay. Let me see. Honestly, I think we're fine, so we just... We're good now. Alright. That's not your name, though. I'm not gonna call you whatever your name is. I gotta call you what your name is. Anyway, yeah, I love everything about Ruth's death. I love the fact that it feels so unfair. I love the fact that they constantly reiterate to you that Rue is the oldest and she's only like fucking 12 years old. Like, she's literally, I think she's less than 12. I actually don't remember Rue's family. We need to have a chat. The oldest of 6, and your oldest daughter is 12. We exist in a time during the Hunger Games, and you think it's appropriate to be pushing out 6 kids? I know they have condoms. I know they do. Please get it together. Get it the fuck together. Because they had condoms in the fucking dark ages. You know that, right? Like cavemen, they use sheepskin as condoms. Like, you guys gotta get it together. I'm tired. I'm tired. I'm really tired. Think about your goddamn child. I'm really tired. The fact that there were 6 of them. Oh, I know it's not her fault, but oh, me oh my, I was so upset. I was so upset. Don't have fucking kids. What the fuck? It is not the time for you to be pushing out no baby. It's the Hunger Games. It is the Hunger Games. Be so fucking for real right now. Be so fucking for real. Got me so upset right now. This shit got me so upset. Because, like, actually, like, what was your problem? Like, what was your problem? Anyway, I'm gonna let that go. For now. I'm gonna let it go for now. As we get back to this book, I love everything about Ruth's death scene. I mean, you guys can still have sex. I'm not saying, like, don't, you know, bump uglies. I'm just saying, like, maybe not right now. Maybe, like, use the condom. That's all I'm asking. Can we get condoms back in the schools? That's all I'm saying. Like, safe sex is good sex, please. Safe sex is good sex. Like, what the fuck are we doing? Genuinely upsetting to me. Genuinely upsetting to me. Alright. Back into hell. Back into hell. My feet wander this way and that until sunset. I'm not afraid, not even watchful, which makes me an easy target, except I'd kill anyone I met on sight, without emotion or the slightest tremor in my hand. My hatred of the capital has not lessened my hatred of my competitors in the least, especially the careers they at least can be made to pay for Rue's death. No one materializes though. There aren't many of us left, and it's a big arena. Soon, they'll be pulling out some other device to force us together. But there's been enough gore today. Perhaps we'll even get sleep. I just have to say again, I know I just started reading, but I have to say again. That line, I also love everything about, oh man, I don't know, should I say it? Should I talk about it now? I'm gonna wait. Actually, I'm gonna say it now because I might forget. I love everything about Rue's death because Katniss's reaction to Rue's death says so much about the way Katniss grieves. Like, she doesn't even pause for a second, and she just goes right back into it. She doesn't pause for not a second. She's like, I have to get out of here. And she goes, what does that say about our character? What does that say about our protagonist? That she cried while holding her body for, that had to be for literally 2 minutes, and then got up, did like that ceremony, and left, and immediately said, I want to start killing people. What does that say about our trauma response? Immediately she's like, I should go kill people. I should go kill people right now. And it's like, okay, wait a minute. And I think, oh man, I can't wait till we read Mockingjay. I know it's the last book, so we're not gonna get there forever, but like, it just brings me back. Like, everything's taking me back to Mockingjay. It takes me back to the last monologue. That's so crazy. I think about the last monologue in Mockingjay all the fucking time, because I think, again, like I Katniss and what could have happened to Katniss if she stayed with Gale. Like, even, and when I say stayed with Gale, I mean like if Katniss let Gale influence her, because like Katniss and Gale are not a good pair. Katniss and Gale, and it's funny because like whenever she starts to think about Gale now, she associates it with somebody else. Like, she stops herself from thinking about it. And I know this probably doesn't make a lot of sense if you haven't read through the books before, but we're gonna get there at some point, don't worry. It's just so messy. I keep thinking about that last monologue. Suzanne Collins, I'm so sorry, nobody likes Mockingjay. That's not true. A lot of people like Mockingjay. It's just everybody's least favorite book because it's really depressing, but it's my favorite book because it's extremely depressing. Like, I love that it's so depressing. I love that it's bleak. I love that it's depressing. I love that it's spoiler. I can't talk about it right now, but I love so many things about Mockingjay, and other people just don't get it. Other people literally just don't get it. It's okay though. It's fine. I will explain it when we get there. We have a whole other book in the middle, but still. Okay. I'm about to haul my packs into a tree and make camp when a silver parachute floats down and lands in front of me. A gift from a sponsor. But why now? I've been in fairly good shape with supplies. Maybe Hamish noticed my despondency. Oh my god, despondency. I'm adding extra letters where there are no letters. Okay, gosh. Despondency. And it's trying to cheer me up. Or could it be something to help with my ear? I open the parachute and find a small loaf of bread. Oh, it's not fine white capital stuff. It's made of dark ration grain and shaped in a crescent, sprinkled with seeds. I flash back to Peeta's lesson on various district breads in the training center. This bread came from District 11. I cautiously lift the still warm loaf. What must it have cost the people of District 11 who can't even feed themselves? How many would have had to do without to scrape up a coin and put in the collection for this one loaf? It had been meant for Rue, surely, but instead of pulling the gift when she died, they'd authorized Hamish to give it to me as a thank you, or because they like me. They don't like to let debts go unpaid. For whatever reason, this is a first. A district gift to a tribute who's not your own. I lift my face and step into the last falling rays of sunlight. My thanks to the people of District 11. I say, I want them to know I know where it came from, that the full value of their gift has been recognized. I climb dangerously high into a tree, not for safety, but to get as far away from today as I can. My sleeping bag is rolled neatly in Rue's pack. Tomorrow, I'll sort through the supplies. Tomorrow, I'll make a new plan, but tonight, all I can do is strap myself in and take tiny bites of bread. It tastes good. It tastes of home. Soon, the seals in the sky, the anthem plays in my right ear. I see the boy from District 1, Rue. That's all for tonight. 6 of us left, I think. Only 6. With the bread still locked in my hands, I fall asleep at once. Sometimes, when things are particularly bad, my brain will give me a happy dream. A visit with my father in the woods, an hour of sunlight and cake with brim. Tonight, it sends me Rue, still decked in her flowers, perched in a high sea of trees, trying to teach me to talk to the mockingjays. I see no sign of her wounds, no blood, just bright and laughing. although she's lost in the leaves. When I fully awaken, I'm momentarily comforted. I try to hold on to the peaceful feeling of that dream, but it quickly slips away, leaving me sadder and lonelier than ever. Heaviness infuses my whole body, as if there's liquid lead in my veins. I've lost the will to do simple tasks, to do anything but lie here, staring unblinkingly through the canopy of leaves. For several hours, I remain motionless, as usual. It's the thought of Brim's anxious face as she watches me on the screens back home that breaks me from my lethargy. She can't even give herself a day. Okay, it's not funny. It's very serious, but like, she can't even give herself a day. Like, we can't have a day. I hate it here. We literally cannot have one day, not one day, just to breathe. We get hours, that's it. Minutes, that's it. I give myself a series of simple commands to follow, like, now you have to sit up, Katniss. Now you have to drink water, Katniss. I act on the orders with slow, robotic motions. Now you have to sort the packs, Katniss. As somebody whose medical research for the last year has been related to trauma, this book is a very interesting read. It's a very, like, I'm awake read, because, like, that's literally the last year of my research has been related to trauma. And now I'm like, yeah, okay, you're gonna be going through this one for a little bit. Methinks. Rue's pack holds my sleeping bag. I could talk about Katniss I could actually seriously probably write a dissertation on Katniss as a character in the book specifically, and because in the movies she's like a completely different person in my opinion. It's still like good, it's a good adaptation, but like she really is a completely different person, and Curious Gibbs, she's a completely different person, and it's just like the amount of drama one person can handle. Like Katniss, you've got a big storm coming. You've got a big storm coming. I've heard of I Am Atomic. I have not heard of I Am Atomic. Is that a book? I have absolutely not heard of it. Okay. Rue's bag holds my sleeping bag. Her nearly empty water skin, a handful of nuts and roots, a bit of rabbit, her extra socks, and her slingshot. The boy from District 1 has several knives, 2 spare spearheads, a flashlight. It doesn't have to be played on stream or anything. Okay, I'll look it up after stream. A pack of dried fruit. A pack of dried fruit. Out of all the things he might have chosen from, to me, this is a sign of extreme arrogance. Why bother to carry food when you have such a bounty back at camp? When you could kill your enemy so quickly, you'll be home before you're hungry. I can only hope the other careers traveled so lightly when it came to food, and now find themselves with nothing. Eminence is shadow reference, yeah. I know I have no idea what that is, but I'll look it up after stream. After stream, which will be in like 3 hours probably. I'm very tempted. I'm honestly very tempted to like go and like finish the rest of this book. I'm tempted to just keep going until the book is done. I really just enjoy reading this. Sid says, I am atomic. Okay. Stay awesome and have a wonderful stream. Thank you, It's Souls. It's ASMR to my ears. I feel like you're trying to make me look up something that's probably not good for me to look up. Eminence in Shadow. Wait, is that the anime I'm thinking of? Wait. We gotta pause for anime lookup. Yes, Eminence in Shadow. Did I watch this? No, I did not. 32 episodes. Isekai. I've heard enough. Isekai. I've heard enough. I was like, I've heard of Eminence in Shadow, and then I saw Isekai. I said, you know how I feel about Isekai. You know how I feel about Isekai. What if you did an Eminence in Shadow watch along? I think I'd just kill myself. It's not funny. I think I don't like Isekai, and it doesn't look like I don't know, it just doesn't look like, you know, it's an amazing anime. It's like JJK. I think that's not true. I don't know if that's true. I don't know if that's true. And honestly, saying that something is like JJK at this point in time is not a good thing to me. That's not a good thing to me. That makes me not want to watch it even more. It's not. I feel like I've watched this. I feel like I've watched at least like an episode of this and I didn't like it. Yeah, I would definitely not. I would sooner do a Makoshi, Dropless Reincarnation. Oh my god. Sometimes I can say, sometimes I can't. I would sooner watch Jobless Reincarnation with everybody in stream than watch that. It's funny. When people recommend me, honestly, comedy anime, that's like very hit or miss for me because I honestly don't find it very funny most of the time. I think that's my problem. Like I just don't find like comedy, like anime comedy, to be funny. Except for One Punch Man. That's my type of comedy. That's funny to me. But it's like, you know, I see here that it's listed as a fantasy comedy, but it's like, I think I've watched like an episode of this and I did not like it at all. You should watch ReZero though. I've watched ReZero. I've already watched ReZero and it's not my thing. I think I remember like enjoying it, except I hated the protagonist. Like I really don't care. I just don't like him. And it's really not my thing, and I honestly don't even know if I'm ever gonna continue it. I think Camu's streams is probably gonna make me watch it at some point. I just think he's a fucking loser. Like I don't like watching losers. I don't like watching losers. I haven't watched ReZero in a while, but I think I just remember me being like really cringed out, and I was like, I know like, people can tell me like, you know, being a loser is a part of his thing. Okay, how is that stopping me from cringing? Like, like yes, and what are we gonna do about the fact that it makes me cringe? Like, there's nothing we can do about that. It's the biggest loser out there. I didn't say I like Jobless Reincarnation like that. I said I would rather watch Jobless Reincarnation versus Eminence in Shadow. That does not mean that I'm in love with Jobless Reincarnation. I have only watched Jobless Reincarnation one time, and to be completely honest, I don't know if I'm gonna ever finish that show. Because I know the latest season is out right now, and I think it's the best version of of like the isekai fucking loser genre. It's the best. And yet have I sought it out after I finished watching what was already there? No, he's a loser. You might not think he's a loser, but he's a fucking loser. It's okay to have a difference of opinions. Like, he's a loser. It's fine. There's a lot of characters that are losers in isekai. Like, listen, that's just not for me, you know? That's just not for me. Loser literally up until the end, and I know this because I remember watching it with Cam, and it's like one of Cam's favorite shows, and I remember watching it with him, and I was like, I just remember like towards the end, I was like, this fucking guy, like I couldn't even. I was like so drunk, and I just couldn't even because I was like, this fucking guy, this guy. I couldn't even. All I remember is that feeling in my heart. Curious skips. I think you just like isekai, and I think I just don't. I think that's really just where we're at. I honestly don't see it as in that way, but that's just me. But then again, I haven't watched ReZero in a while, because like, when did ReZero come out? Like 2016. What season are they on? I have no idea. Because it's season 2, season 3 is gonna happen. Yeah, it came out in like 2021. Like, I think I watched it. It ended in 2021. I think I watched it in like 2022, maybe. And honestly, I really have no desire to get back into it. Like, I honestly don't even remember the fucking mystery. Like, I kinda just don't care. At this point. Like, I don't know what the people want. I just don't care. Job's Reincarnation and many other isekai out there. I'm not an isekai fan. That's not for me. That's not a genre for me. Coming out soon. Yeah, congrats to people that are gonna watch that. I won't be watching that, I don't think. I think I might get forced to watch it at some point because of the friends that I have. But, you know, probably not. Probably not gonna be watching it. It's not my thing. I just think like isekai at this point in time is just like gooner material, and it's like, I'm not a fucking gooner, so I just I am not a gooner, so I really don't know what to do with that. If you watch it, you will regret it afterwards. But I didn't like it. Did you hear what I just said? Did you hear any part of what I just said in the last like 10 minutes? I thought it was fine, but I honestly let it slip from my mind. I wasn't like in love with it. I've watched ReZero. I've watched all of ReZero. I'm not gonna watch season 3. I don't even know when it comes out, but I'm not gonna be watching season 3 to be completely. Oh, it comes out in October. Yeah. If you go and watch it later on, you know, I'll probably get dragged to watch it. I'll probably get dragged to watch it. I think if I'm hanging out with somebody that's like, that's their show, I'll give them like 2 episodes. And if I like it after 2 episodes, then we can keep watching it. But I don't think, I just don't think, you know. Those are some W friends. No. No, not at all. No. He's alright. I mean, like, I'll let him episodes, but if I don't like it, I'm not watching anymore. Maybe like one episode if it's really bad. What if I donated $10,000? Yeah, sure, if you donate $10,000 and you don't file a chargeback, yeah. Sure, I'll do fucking a lot of things. Shit, I'll watch Jobless Reincarnation, the latest season that came out. Yeah, but you're not gonna do that, so. What if I burped right into the mic? A lot of things could happen. Alright. Let's get back into this book. What is going on with my nail? Oh my gosh. Okay. I'm not a gooner, but 10K is 10K. Yeah, shit. I'll watch fucking, what's that anime that I don't like? Konosuba. I'll watch that shit for $10,000. Yeah, sure. Yeah. Yeah, it's money. Yes, I would do that for money. Yes. I don't think that's like a stellar review though. Saying that, yeah, I would watch it if I got paid to do it. It's not exactly like rave reviews. Konosuba is my shit. Oh my god. Oh my god. I've heard about enough. I've heard about enough. Let's get back into this book. I've heard about enough. Will I start reading JJK again for 10K? Shit, I'll fucking kiss Gechi for 10K. I'll kiss Gechi on the lips. I'll start a Twitter account called Gechi Has Done Nothing Wrong, and I'll post on it every single day for 10K. Why not? But he has done something wrong, and I'm not getting paid $10,000, so fuck all does that matter. Alright. Speaking of which, my own supply is running low. I finish off the loaf from District 11, the last of my rabbit. How quickly food disappears. All I have left are roots and nuts, the boys' dried fruit, and one strip of beef. Now you have to hunt Katniss, I tell myself. I obediently consolidate the supplies I want into my pack. After I climb down the tree, I conceal the boys' knives, spearheads, and a pile of rocks so no one else can use them. I've lost my bearings with what? All the wandering. Thank you for the my little meow meow. Nya, 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 nya. Very much appreciated. With all the wandering around I did yesterday evening, but I try and head back in the general direction of the stream. I know I'm on course when I come across Rue's third unlit fire. Shortly thereafter, I discover a flock of grooslings perched in the trees and take out 3 before they know what hit them. I return to Rue's signal fire and start it up, not caring about the excessive smoke. Enjoy your stream and reading. Thank you. Where are you, Kato? I think, as I roast the birds in Rue's roots. I'm waiting right here. I just have to say, Katniss. Literally, like, killing 3 birds for no fucking reason. Like, she's killing them just because she needs to kill something. And she wants to kill Kato, but she can't. Because Kato is, hiding is insanities. It's truly insanity. Also, I think I gotta put at this point in my in my TOS, nobody should mention Konosuba. At this point, it should just be a in my TOS that like nobody should mention Konosuba to me. It like instantly gives me like a Sims negative symbol for my head. It's like not funny, but it's like when somebody tells me that they like Konosuba, like I instantly like I get like the negative symbol. Because I'm like, we can't talk about it right now. We're supposed to be reading this book. Right now. But wow, it's just like and it's not like dislike, okay, it's just like it's not dislike, it's just I'm just looking at you differently. I'm just looking at you just a little bit differently, that's all. It should be like a warning, like, hey, if you want me to, you know, like not look at you differently, please don't mention that you like Konosuba. Don't mention that you like Konosuba. For your birthday, get you the Konosuba light novels. Honestly, I would refund that. If you gifted that to me on Throne, I would ask Throne if they could refund it. I wouldn't even want the fucking book. Not as like even a joke. I wouldn't even want it. Ultra, thank you. Ultra M Slayer. Thank you for the follow. It didn't pop up because I turned off alerts so that I can focus. But thank you. I very much appreciate it. I hope you're having a good day, night, wherever you are. Yeah. I would honestly ask them to refund that shit because I wouldn't even want it as a joke. Like, could you imagine if I walked into my man's house? This sounds like I'm joking, but I'm being so serious. If I walked into my partner's house and I saw Konosuba sitting there. If I walk in and I see Konosuba on your shelf, that's not my man's anymore. That's not my partner, unfortunately. That honestly would be like a sign for me to like rethink our relationship. That's not a joke. I'm being so serious. I'm being so serious. I think I would seriously. I'd be like, "Are you like dead ass?" Or I'd be like, "Are you dead ass?" He's a 10 out of 10, but he likes Konosuba enough to have the light novels. Then he's not a fucking 10 out of 10. That's not my man's. What the hell are you talking about? That's not my man's. He's not a 10 out of 10. Listen, I'm a fucking... What's wrong with Konosuba? Oh my god, we cannot get into it. I just think like Konosuba is like Rick and Morty, but for anime fans. And I mean that in parentheses derogatory. I mean that like... And I like Rick and Morty. I have Rick and Morty merchandise. I also have an IQ of 3 billion, so I can understand Rick and Morty's commentary. But it's like Konosuba is just like so painfully unfunny in my opinion. It's just so painfully unfunny. And I know that humor is subjective, but it's like it's always that fucking clip, that clip with the girl that has the penis that gets shown around, that everyone's like, this is so fucking funny. And it's like, I cannot look at this and be like, this is hilarious, because I'm like, what is the joke that you guys are all laughing at on twitter.com? Like, are you laughing? You're laughing at the fact that like, okay, so the girl has a penis and he doesn't know that the girl has a penis. It kind of comes off as like transphobic to me. I feel like a lot of the jokes are just extremely lowbrow humor. I could talk about not liking Konosuba for like 3 hours, so we really have to not we really have to get back to the Hunger Games. But like, I feel like the jokes are just so fucking lowbrow. And again, humor is subjective. You can like whatever you like, but for me personally, it's just like transphobic humor, like basic BDSM humor, where it's like, isn't it funny that she wants to have sex? No, it's not funny because I've had pussy, bro. Like like, no, that's not fucking funny. I've actually felt the inside of a woman, so no, it's not funny to me. What's funny about that? It's so unfunny. It's so painfully unfunny to me personally. Like, it's gooner humor. I can't. I can't with it personally. And I said all of this, and yet it's like, if you like Konosuba, that's like your business. Is it her being a huge masochist hilarious? No, not to me. I think they run jokes into the fucking ground, and I know that that's the fucking point, but it's not funny to me. I don't know what I'm supposed to do about that. And then when I explain it to people, they act like I don't get it, and it's like, no, I get the joke. I just don't think it's funny. I get the joke. I understand a lot of the jokes. I just think the jokes aren't funny. It's a comedy anime that doesn't make me laugh. It actually makes me very sad. Because I constantly see the same fucking jokes, oh my god, over and over and over again. And it's just not funny to me. It's just not funny. I didn't laugh. Not funny, didn't laugh. Shout out Donkey Kong. Okay. I'm sure if I sat down, I could seriously do a just chatting just chatting stream, where I thoroughly, and I mean, like, we could watch an episode together and it's just me tearing into Konosuba, because like everything about Konosuba makes me upset. Like, because people are transphobic, Mac. That's literally why. Like, honestly, people think it's funny anyway. And I know people would say that's not actually transphobic, but it's like, yes, it is. And maybe you don't see it that way, but it's like, yes, it is. And a lot of humor in anime, well, we can't even get into it, but a lot of humor in anime is rooted in transphobia, and a lot of like comedy animes, which honestly doesn't make me laugh. I don't know what I'm supposed to do when I see that. And you could tell me, people can laugh at whatever they want, but I'm also I'm also allowed to like not laugh at something if I don't find it funny. Also, we're taking our top of the hour ad break. So if you're hungry, tired, and or sleepy, and maybe you are tired of me, maybe you are not laughing at me or with me, and you would like to get the fuck out of here, feel free. I'm not holding you hostage. You're not, bound to this stream. You can actually get the fuck out of here and take care of yourself in whatever way resonates for you. So go do that, because you will be hit with 3 minutes of advertisements, whether you like it or not. So you might as well take care of yourself in the meantime. Yes. Okay. I would love that. It would be so boring though. It would be so boring, and then it would be filled with people telling me that I just don't get it. Like, my IQ is not strong enough to understand the Konosuba lore. I just don't get it. I'm not understanding. And it's like, you're allowed to like it. There are a lot of things that, I like that a lot of people don't like. Those people are wrong, but those people are wrong, factually incorrect. But, I understand it. There are things that I like that people don't like. That's just preference. Anyway, back to the Hunger Games, another thing that other people might not like, but I love. Honestly, like, if I really broke down, like, if we really thought about like why I don't like a lot of comedy anime, it's just because like a lot of it is just rooted in a lot of jokes that just aren't necessarily funny, and that's not all of them, but it's like a lot of them are just like bottom of the fucking barrel jokes. Like, they aren't even fucking trying. I think that's why I really like One Punch Man, or even The Days of High School Boys, or The Daily Lives of High School Boys, because those are jokes. Like, someone had to write a setup and a punchline for them, right? Setup and punchline, like a follow through, like that's a joke, like that's a joke. But it's like a lot of these anime are just saying things and then expecting you to laugh, and it's like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do when you tell me a thing, and then just like, you're like, oh, okay, I'm supposed to laugh because it's rooted in like homophobia. Like, oh, I'm supposed to laugh because racism, sexism. Like, what am I supposed to do about that? I don't find those things funny when they don't have a good joke behind them. Obviously, there are good jokes to be told about all of these things. I'm very much interested in dark humor, but you just telling me that like two guys are kissing and that's supposed to be the joke isn't funny to me. Like, that isn't funny to me, you know? Or it's like a girl with a dick. That sounds odd, but that's not funny. Let me stop. That's not funny. That's not funny. Alex Jones. Okay, I will get back. It's the same thing with like Fire Force, right? It's like Fire Force's humor, which that's a different conversation entirely, but let's just use Fire Force for as an example. Like, Fire Force's humor is sometimes just based on the fact that a girl is getting exploited or having her clothes get removed, even though she doesn't actually want that to happen, and I'm supposed to sit there and laugh, and it's like, this isn't funny, it's actually taking away from the fucking plot, bro. Like, I'm not having a good time. But that's a discussion again about like anime and anime trends, and I haven't watched a comedy anime in a minute, so I'm also not the best. I'm not the best at I'm not the best arbitrator for specifically the anime genre in that field. I can't stand Cinderes. Me neither, but that's a separate conversation. Okay, let's get back to the Hunger Games. See, we just can never mention Konosuba, because then we get on a sidetrack. I'm gonna put it in the TOS. I'm being so serious. I put that shit in the TOS. No more. I've had about enough. This happens every single stream. It happens every single stream. We mention Konosuba and then we get sidetracked. I've had about enough. I won't have it anymore. I will not have it. Because then I have to start explaining myself, because everybody's like, why don't you like Konosuba? Like, I'm more surprised by people that like Konosuba anyway. Anyway, back to this. I think Memes didn't even realize that I ended the stream, to be completely honest. Like, I think Memes is like asleep somewhere. I think Memes is like out like a light as per usual. Memes is always like, I promise, Pup, I'll be there right until the end. And Memes is out at like a light at like 8 p.m. Memes, if you're watching the VOD, I'm kidding. Please, it's okay. Go to sleep. It's fine. Alright, back to the book. I promise, back to the book. Page 241. Who knows where their careers are now? Either too far to reach me, or too sure this is a trick, or is it possible? Too scared of me. They know I have bows and arrows. Of course. Kato saw me take them from Glimmer's body. But have they put two and two together yet? Figured out how I blew up the supplies and killed their fellow career? Possibly. They think Thresh did this. Wouldn't he be more likely to revenge Rue's death than I would, being from the same district? Not that he ever took any interest in her. And what about Foxface? Did she hang around to watch me blow up the supplies? No. When I caught her laughing in the ashes the next morning, it was as if someone had given her a lovely surprise. I doubt they think Peta has lit this signal fire. Kato's sure he's good as dead. I find myself wishing I could tell Peta about the flowers I put on Rue. That I now understand what he was trying to say on the roof. Perhaps if he wins the games, he'll see me on Victor's night. When they replay the highlights of the games on the screen over the stage where we did our interviews, the winner sits in a place of honor on the platform surrounded by their support crew. But I told Rue now. Winning. It's not just having the arrows or outsmarting the careers a few times, although those things help. Something happened when I was holding Rue's hand, watching the life drain out of her. I am now determined to avenge her, to make her loss unforgettable. And I can only do that by winning, and thereby making myself unforgettable. I overcooked the birds, hoping someone will show up to shoot, but no one does. Maybe the other tributes are out there beating one another senseless, which would be fine. Ever since the bloodbath, I've been featured on more screens than I care. Eventually, I wrap out my food and go back to the stream to replenish my water and gather some. But the heaviness from the morning drapes back over me, and even though it's only early evening, I climb a tree and settle in for the night. My brain begins to replay the events from yesterday. I keep seeing Rue speared, my arrow piercing the boy's neck. I don't know why I should even care about the boy. Then I realize he was my first kill. Along with the other statistics they report to help people place their bets, every tribute has a list of kills. I guess technically I'd get credited for Glimmer and the girl from District 4 too for dumping that nest on them. But the boy from District 1 was the first person I knew would die because of my actions. Numerous animals have lost their lives at my hands, but only one human. I hear Gale saying, "How different can it really be?" Amazingly similar in the execution. A bow pulled, an arrow shot. Entirely different in the aftermath. I killed a boy whose name I don't even know. Somewhere, his family is weeping for him. His friends call for my blood. Maybe he had a girlfriend who really believed he would come back. But then I think of Rue's still body, and I'm able to banish the boy from my mind, at least for now. Hi Gecko, also, I know you tried to bonk me. Yeah, sound alerts. Yeah, no, none for you. Yeah. It's been an uneventful day according to the sky. No deaths. I wonder how long we'll get until the next catastrophe drives us back together. If it's going to be tonight, I want to get some sleep first. I cover my good ear to block out the strains of the anthem, but then I hear trumpets and sit up straight in anticipation. For the most part, the only communication the tributes get from outside the arena is the nightly death toll. But occasionally, there will be trumpets, followed by an announcement. Usually, this will be a call to a feast. When food is scarce, the game makers will invite the players to a banquet, somewhere known to all like the cornucopia, as an inducement to gather and fight. Sometimes there is a feast, and sometimes there is nothing but a loaf of stale bread for the tributes to compete for. I wouldn't go in for the food, but this could be an ideal time to take out a few competitors. Thank you for the follow, Santi17. Thank you. Very much appreciated. You have a heart in your honor, and I'm gonna put that on right now. I hope you're having a good day, night, wherever you are. I'm gonna focus up for this last bit. Claudia's Templesmith's voice booms down from overhead, congratulating the six of us who remain. But he's not inviting confused. He's saying something very confusing. There's been a rule change in the games, a rule change that in itself is mind-bending, since we don't really have any rules to speak of except don't step off your circle for 60 seconds and the unspoken rule about not eating one another. Under a new rule, both tributes from the same district will be declared winners if they are the last two alive. Claudius pauses, as if he knows we're not getting it, and repeats the change again. The news sinks in. Two tributes can win this year if they're from the same district. Both can live. Both of us can live. Before I can stop myself, I call out Peta's name. Part 3. The Victor. I just have to say, the amount of times Katniss will end a fucking book apart on fucking Peta is insanity. Like, did she end the last one on Peta? That would be so crazy. Let me go back. That would be so wild. There's no way she did that. There's no way she did that. You know, like, I was kind of joking a little bit when I was like, yeah, Katniss and Peta. Oh my god. Yeah, no, literally. Part 1 ends with her talking about Peta. Part 1 ends. Part 1, which by the way is titled The Tributes, ends with Peta's confession and Katniss's reaction to it. Part 2 literally ends with her screaming out Peta's name. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's always Peta. Again, I love that trope where it's like, it's always been you, and it's never been anybody else. That, something about that, yeah, where it's like, it has never been anybody else, ever. Yeah. They ate with that one, yeah. Was there ever an Edward Jacob thing with Peta and Gale? Gale. I saw my first like really long stream when I first started reading the books because people were asking about why there is a love triangle, or like asking about the love triangle that's in the book. And actually, this is a huge misconception. This is the first time I'm gonna hit you with an actually. Let me put on my glasses for this actually, because there is no love triangle. I'm so sorry that the movies lied to you. There is no love triangle. There is no love triangle. Katniss does not love Peta, does not love Gale like that, and it becomes really apparent, in my opinion, in the, well, it's especially apparent in the third book, but in the second book, Katniss, I believe, talks about it a little bit more than she does in this book. There's like seeds of it you can see in this book right here. There's seeds of it, but in terms of like, does Katniss actually like love Gale or something like that? No. Gale is like family to her. Gale is literally like family, and Katniss cannot distinguish, because Katniss is 16 years old and extremely traumatized and has never had a moment to like be 16. She's always been an adult and always stuck in survival mode. Katniss does not know the difference between familial love and liking somebody like romantically. Katniss does not know the difference. So that is why her relationship with Peta confuses her so much, because like Katniss literally does not understand what she's feeling. Yes. And actually, fun fact, Suzanne Collins wanted Gale to be her cousin, but the publishers forced her to make Gale her, like, just a person that she met, just like a random person. Originally, Gale was supposed to be her cousin, and that would have made sense, honestly, if you look at the book totalitarily, like in total. But because at the time, like, of this release, was saying like Twilight was like happening, and all of these like books with love triangles and everything, they thought it would sell better if you could sell it as a love story, like as a love triangle, right? But it's very clear based off of the way that she wrote it and like the stuff that Katniss says that like Gale is never an option. Has never been an option, and we're gonna like talk about that a little bit more in the second book because I think it's more relevant in the second book. But like we'll get to that. But it's very annoying because like people will constantly be like, there was a love triangle in the Hunger Games, and I'm like, did you read the Hunger Games? Like that tells me that like you didn't read the book, because like there really isn't. Like Katniss even says it herself. She says it, I think, in part 1, where she's talking about how when she thinks about Gale, she doesn't even know like what to think, and she instantly thinks of him as family. Like she's like, I miss Gale, but I miss him because he reminds me of home. He's the only person that's ever understood me, because Gale and her have trauma bonded, and she doesn't know what to do with that. Like she in her, we'll get to this in the second book, but like she in her head is like, is that familial love? Is that romance? Like what is that? What is that? Because Katniss again has been adultified since the age of 11 years old. Did you read the Hunger Games, or did you read way too much fan fiction? I will say also, there's not a lot of fan fiction for Katniss and Gale because the right people are writing fan fiction. Thank you. I don't like reading heterosexuals because that's not my thing, but because I'm queer, and Katniss and Peter are the only heterosexuals that I like. However, I don't want to read fan fiction about them. The books were enough for me, but there's not a lot for Katniss and Gale because that shit doesn't make fucking sense. That shit literally doesn't make sense. Like, especially when we get to the third book. That shit does not make sense. Once you know about the third book, that shit does not make sense at all. After you read the third book, anybody that says that Katniss and Gale should be good together, I've lost their fucking mind. Like, I honestly don't understand how you could read the third book and then be like, oh yeah, oh yeah, like Katniss and Gale are like good together. Have you lost your fucking mind? People that think that should be sent to the fucking gulag, to be completely honest. No more books for you, gulag. But you know, we'll get to that when we get to that. Anyway, I have a lot to say. I think that's so crazy, Suzanne Collins, the mind you have. I just think it's so wild. I never noticed that like at the end of both parts, Katniss is talking about Peeta. That's so wild. I never noticed that. That's good writing. That's really good writing. Anyway, part 3, the victor. We're getting close to the end. Yes, we are. Let me clear out my throat. Alright. Chapter 19. I clasp my hands over my mouth, but the sound has already escaped. The sky goes black, and air chords of frogs begin to sing. Stupid. I tell myself, what a stupid thing to do. I wait, frozen, for the woods to come alive with assailants. Then I remember, there is almost no one left. Peeta, who has been wounded, is now my ally. Whatever doubts I've had about him dissipate, because if either of us took each other's life now, we'd be pariahs when we return to District 12. In fact, I know if I was watching, I'd loathe any tribute who didn't immediately ally with their district. Partner. Besides, it just makes sense to protect each other. And in my case, being the one of the star-crossed lovers from District 12, it's an absolute requirement if I want any more help from my sympathetic sponsor. star-crossed lovers. PETA must have been playing that angle all along. Why else would the game makers have made this unprecedented change in the rules? For two tributes to have a shot at winning, our romance must be so popular with the audience that condemning it would jeopardize the success of the games. No thanks to me. All I've done is manage not to kill PETA. But whatever he's done in the arena, it must have the audience convinced it was to keep me alive, shaking his head to keep me from running into the cornucopia, fighting Kato to let me escape. Even hooking up with the careers must have been a move to protect me. PETA, it turns out, has never been a danger to me. The thought makes me smile. This is not a romance, and yet this is the type of romance I love. Oh my god. This is not a romance, this is literally a horror. Like, this is actually and factually a dystopian horror. This is not a romance, and yet I'm like, when will someone love me to death? When will someone get stabbed for me? I'm like, this is so romantic. This is that I'm a part of the problem. I understand that. I know. Katniss would hate me. Katniss would be like, oh, capital people laughing and smiling, which I really appreciate actually, because like that's so good. Like, this is such a good YA novel because it's so good for like young adults, right? Like kids to actually reflect on what's happening and what they're doing too, because like we as we read the books, we take on the role essentially of not only Katniss but as the capital, because we are also seeing this from an outside perspective. We are not Katniss, even though we have access to Katniss's like thoughts, right? We have access to Katniss's motives. We know what she's doing, and yet we are helpless to stop her from what she is doing, what she's thinking. We are just like the capital, reading and watching and waiting, and it is so amazing how they flip that. It's crazy how they put you in that position where you're supposed to hate the capital, and yet that's me. I'm supposed to hate these people, and yet here I am, smiling, giggling, because Katniss is happy that PETA wasn't trying to kill her. Like, I'm a part of the problem. I'm a part of the problem, and that's so cool. I love that. Which is why I love the third book, but we're gonna get into it. We'll get into it, I guess, in like 3 months, 3-4 months, when I finally like finish the second book, and then we're finally on the third book. But like the ending, I think people, when the third book came out and people were upset at the ending, I think that was such a good commentary on people wanting it to end in a different way, in a way that I think would have been like more spectacular than it actually was. And I feel like that's a good bit of reflection to ask yourself, like, why do you want it to end that way? Like, why are you so excited? Because in a way, like, that's exactly what the capital would have wanted, right? You want spectacle. You want spectacle where there is none. You want this grand, amazing closure, when in reality, it's just not like that. It's really just not like that. And I love that. I love the third book, but we're still in this book. I love this book too. It's a great, I honestly, like, I really wish Suzanne Collins never made, what's the book called? A Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, because I think this is a perfect trilogy. Honestly and truly, I think like, like in life, there aren't that many perfect trilogies. Like, I can't name another book series that's this good all the way through, except for A Series of Unfortunate Events. That one is pretty good all the way through, but I haven't read it in a really long time. I have like reviewed it, but I haven't like fully sat down and read it. And it's also 13 books. It's not like 3, it's 13, and they're all progressively, they get longer and longer and longer. So that one I think is pretty good the whole way through. But it's like, I don't know a this good, just like not fucking letting up. And then she wrote that prequel, which I believe she had a gun to her head when they told her to release that, because that it's just not as good in my opinion, but that's a separate issue. Anyway, back to the book. I draw my hands and hold my face up to the moonlight so the cameras can be sure to catch it. So who's there left to be afraid of? Boxface, the boy from her district, is dead. She's operating alone at night, and her strategy has been to evade, not attack. I don't really think that, even if she heard my voice, she'd do anything but hope someone else would come and kill me. Thank you for that, Pat. I have the 10th right next to me. A series of unfortunate events is so good. As you can tell, if you know anything about the books that I've talked about that I love, I like depressing books. And when I say that, I mean I like books that are intentionally traumatic and intentionally depressing, but have protagonists that persevere despite it all, or that are clever and outwit whatever situation they're going through, but still go through intense, depressing, depraved situations. Like, those are my books, and that's literally The Hunger Games, and that's also a series of unfortunate events. It's that one book series of the whole family going after the main character's parents' fortune across the world. It's not a series of unfortunate events. I like seeing depressed people. No, not necessarily. Because, like, the characters in a series of unfortunate events, they aren't depressed, they're children. I mean, you can be depressed and be a child. I meant, like, they are not, like, outwardly depressive. Like, they understand their situation is bleak, but they don't ever show it in that way. It had little code cards that came with it. Oh, code something. I think I know what you're talking about. I don't remember the book series, but I think I know what you're talking about. Dang, that unlocked a part of my mind I hadn't thought about in a while. Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. Okay, wait, let's get back to this book. We're like almost done. We're like almost. Okay. 39 clues. Wait, let me look at that. Oh my god, I read the fuck out of this book series. Yeah. Oh, I read the fuck out of this book series. Oh. I read the fuck out of this book series. This one, I would honestly say I liked the first two Percy Jackson books too. I think the first book is amazing, and I do think it drops off in quality after that. I literally, like, Percy Jackson fans, you're better than me, because I really think the books are bad after that first book. I think, like, get worse. I think the first book is amazing. I think Lightning Thief is like a perfect YA novel. And then the second book is okay. It's fine. It's not as good as the first one. It's okay. And then after that, after that, I mean, Jesus Christ. Gecko, what does that have to do with anything? Gecko, what does that have to do with anything? Not being from LA. Some people live in Germany that follow me. Like, what are you talking about? And Percy Jackson got milked too hard in terms of books. I personally just don't think that man should have written all those books. I don't. And I just don't think he should have written them in the way that he wrote them, in my opinion. Like, some of them have, like, major issues. Like, and I mean, like character issues. seething though when I was reading it that I actually got the book. I don't like most media past the first telling. Like past the first book. People love high standards, and LA people are very desired. True, exactly. What do you want about? What do you want about me? Two, are you talking about? That's definitely not true, but you know, I guess it depends on who you're talking about. I mean, like, I can't agree with you, Pokemon, because, like, past the first book's plot mostly, I still can't agree with you because we're literally reading the Hunger Games, and I think the Hunger Games is a perfect trilogy, so. It's a perfect trilogy. It's just perfect. The only thing, and we'll get to it in the third book. There's a one problem with the book. It's not really a problem. I'm just whinging. It's not actually a problem. It's actually incredibly heartbreaking, but like we'll get to it in the third book whenever I read that. It just like makes me sad whenever I think about it. So I just wish she didn't write that. I just wish she didn't do that one thing. Okay, let's read this book. Then there's Thresh. Alright, he's a distinct threat. But I haven't seen him, not once since the games began. I think about how Foxface grew alarmed when she heard a sound at the site of the explosion, but she didn't turn to the woods. She turned to whatever lies across from it. To that area of the arena that drops off into I don't know what. I feel almost certain the person she ran from was Thresh, and that was his domain. He had never heard from me there, and even if he did, I'm up too high for someone his size to reach. So that leaves Kato and the girl from District 2, who are now surely celebrating the new rule. They're the only ones left to benefit from it besides Peta and myself. Do I run from them now? On the chance they heard me call Peta's name? No, I think. Let them come. Let them come with their night vision glasses and their heavy, branch-breaking bodies, right into the range of my arrows. But I know they won't. If they didn't come in daylight to my fire, they won't risk what could be another trap at night. When they come, it will be on their own terms, not because I've let them know my whereabouts. Stay put, and get some sleep, Katniss, I instruct myself, although I wish I could start tracking Peta now. Tomorrow, you'll find him. I do sleep, but in the morning I'm extra cautious, thinking that while the couriers might hesitate to attack me in the tree, they're completely capable of setting an ambush for me. I make sure to fully prepare myself for the day, eating a big breakfast, securing my pack, readying my weapons before I descend. But all seems peaceful and undisturbed on the ground. Today, I'll have to be scrumptiously careful. The couriers will know I'm trying to locate Peta. They may well want to wait until I do before they move in. If he's badly wounded, as Kato thinks, I'll be in the position of having to defend us both without any assistance. But if he's that incapacitated, how has he managed to stay alive? And how on earth will I find him? I try to think of anything Peta has ever said that might give me any indication as to where he's hiding out, but nothing rings a bell. So I go back to the last moment I saw him sparkling in the sunlight, yelling for me to run. Then Kato appeared, his sword drawn, and after that I was gone. And he wounded Peta. But how did Peta get away? Maybe he held out better against the tracker poison than Kato. Maybe that was the variable that allowed him to escape. But he had been stung too. So how far could he have gotten? Stabbed and filled with venom. How has he stayed alive all all these days since. If the wound and the stingers haven't killed him, surely thirst would have taken him by now. And that's when I get my first clue to his whereabouts. He couldn't have survived without water. I know that from my first few days here. He must be hidden somewhere near a source. There's a lake, but I find that unlikely option, since it's so close to the careers base camp. A few spring-fed pools, but you'd really be sitting duck at one of those. And the stream, the one that leads from the camp ruin I made all the way down near the lake and beyond. If he stuck to the stream, he could change his location and always be near water. He could walk in the current and erase any tracks. He might even be able to get a fish or two. Well, it's a place to start anyway. To confuse my enemies' minds, I make a fire with plenty of green wood. Even if they think it's a ruse, I hope they'll decide I'm hidden or somewhere near it, while in reality, I'll be tracking Peta. The sun burns off the morning haze almost immediately, and I can tell the day will be hotter than usual. The water's cool and pleasant on my bare feet. As I head downstream, I'm tempted to call out Peta's name as I go, but decide against it. I'll have to find him with my eyes and one good ear, or he'll have to find me. But he'll know I'll be looking right. He won't have so low of an opinion as me to think I'd ignore the new rule and keep to myself, would he? He's very hard to predict, which might be interesting under different circumstances, but at the moment, only provides an extra obstacle. It doesn't take long to reach the spot where I peeled off to go to the careers camps. There's no sign of Peta, but this doesn't surprise me. I've been up and down this stretch 3 times since the tracker incident. If he were nearby, surely he'd have some suspicion of it. The stream begins to curve to the left into a part of the woods that's new to me. Muddy banks covered in tangled water plants lead to large rocks that increase in size until I begin to feel somewhat trapped. It would be no small matter to escape the stream now, fighting off Kato or Thresh as I climbed over this rocky terrain. In fact, I've just about decided I'm on the wrong track entirely. That wounded boy would be unable to navigate getting to and from this water source when I see a bloody streak going down the curve of a boulder. It's long dried now, with the smeary lines running side to side, just someone who perhaps was not fully in control of his mental faculties tried to wipe away. Hugging the rocks, I move slowly in the direction of blood, searching for him. I find a few more bloodstains, one with a few threads of fabric glued to it, but no signs of life. I break down and say his name in a hushed voice. Peta! Peta! Then a mockingjay lands on a scruffy tree and begins to mimic my tones. So I stop. I give up and climb back down to the stream, thinking he must have moved on somewhere further down. My foot has just broken the surface of the water when I hear a voice. "Here to finish me off, sweetheart." I whip around. It's come from the left, so I can't pick it up very well. And the voice was hoarse and weak. Still, it must have been Peta. Who else in the arena would call me sweetheart? My eyes peruse the bank, but there's nothing. Just mud and plants in the base of rocks. "Peta," I whisper. "Where are you?" There's no answer. Could I have just imagined it? No, I'm certain it was real and very close at hand too. "Peta," I creep along the bank. "Well, don't step on me." I jump back. His voice was right under my feet. Still, there's nothing. Then his eyes open, unmistakably blue in the brown mud and green leaves. I gasp, and am rewarded with a hint of white teeth as he laughs. It's the final word in camouflage. Forget chucking weights around. Peter should have gone into his private session with the game makers and painted himself into a tree boulder or a muddy bank full of weeds. Close your eyes again, I order. He does, and his mouth too, and completely disappears. Most of what I judge to be his body is actually under a layer of mud and plants. His face and arms are so artfully designed as to be invisible. I kneel beside him. I guess all those hours decorating cakes paid off. Peta smiles. Yes, frosting. The final defense of the dying. You're not gonna die, I tell him firmly. Says who? His voice is so ragged. Says me. We're on the same team now, you know, I tell him. His eyes open. So I heard. Nice of you to find what's left of me. I pull out my water bottle and give him a drink. Did Kato cut you? I ask. Left leg up high, he answers. Let's get you in the stream and wash you off so I can see what kind of wounds you've got, I say. Lean down a minute first. I need to tell you something. I lean over and put my good ear to his lips, which tickle as he whispers. Remember, we're madly in love, so it's alright to kiss me anytime you feel like it. I jerk my head back and end up laughing. Thanks, I'll keep it in mind. That scene, Peter Malarkey would have had my ass. Peter Malarkey would have had my ass. Peter is like dying. This is why I love Peter, because Peter is like literally fucking dying, and he's like, I gotta shoot my shot one last time. He is literally dying from blood loss. That's my man's. That's my man's. Peter is dying from blood loss, and he's like, I gotta try. That's a man right there. That's a funny man right there. I love that. A little hee hee before you die. Love that. At least he's still able to joke around. But when I start to help him into the stream, all the levity disappears. It's only 2 feet away. How hard can it be? It's very hard when I realize he's unable to move an inch on his own. He's so weak that the best he can do is not resist. I try to drag him, but despite the fact that I know he's doing all he can to keep quiet, sharp cries of pain escape him. The mud and plants seem to have imprisoned him, and I finally have to give a gigantic tug to break him from their clutches. He's still 2 feet from the water, lying there, gritted teeth, tears cutting trails into the dirt on his face. Look, Peter, I'm gonna roll you into the stream. It's very shallow, you're okay, I say. Excellent, he says. I crouch down beside him. No matter what happens, I tell myself don't stop until he's in the water. On 3, I say 1, 2, 3. I can only manage 1 full roll before I have to stop because of the horrible sound he's making. Now he's on the edge of the stream. Maybe this is better anyway. Okay, change of plans. I'm not gonna put you all the way in. I tell him, besides, if I get him in, who knows if I'll ever be able to get him out. No more rolling, he asks. That's all done. Let's get you cleaned up. Keep an eye on the woods for me, okay? I say. It's hard to know where to start. He's so caked with mud and matted leaves. I can't even see his clothes if he's wearing clothes. The thought makes me hesitate for a moment. And then I plunge in. Naked bodies are no big deal in the arena, right? I've got 2 water bottles and Rue's water skin. I prop them against rocks, and the streams of their 2 are always filling, while I pour the 3rd over Peter's body. It takes a while. When I finally rid enough mud to find his clothes, I gently unzip his jacket, unbutton his shirt, and ease off him. His undershirt is so plastered into his wounds that I have to cut it away with my knife and drench him again to work it loose. He's badly bruised with a long burn across his chest and 4 tracker stings if you count the one under his ear. But I feel a bit better. This much I can fix. I wouldn't know because I don't read heterosexual stuff. However, if I was to write a fanfiction back in the day, I would have written. Actually, I would not have written. I would have written it about the second book, not the third book, not this book right here. But this is a good one to reference. I would have written it about the second book, and then I would have referenced this scene. I would have referenced everything that's happening in this scene. Pretty much everything that's happening between right now and the end of the book, I would have referenced in my fanfiction. If I was gonna write one. I decided to take care of his upper body first, to alleviate some of the pain before I tackle whatever damage Kato did to his leg. Since treating his wounds seems pointless when he's lying in what becomes a mud puddle, I managed to prop him up against a boulder. He sits there, uncomplaining, while I wash away all traces of dirt from his hair and skin. His flesh is very pale in the sunlight, and he no longer looks strong and stocky. I have to dig the stingers out of his tracker lumps, which cause him to wince, but the minute I apply the leaves, he sighs in relief. While he dries in the sun, I wash his filthy shirt and jacket and spread them over boulders. Then I apply the burn cream to his chest. This is when I notice how hot his skin is becoming. The layer of mud and the bottles of water have disguised the fact that he's burning with fever. I dig through the first aid kit I got from the boy from District 1 and find pills that reduce your temperature. My mother actually breaks down and buys these on occasion when her home remedies fail. Swallow these, I tell him, and he obediently takes the medicine. You must be hungry. Not really, that's funny. I haven't been hungry for days, says Peta. In fact, when I offer him the grusling, he wrinkles his nose at it and turns away. That's when I know how sick he is. Peta, we need to get some food in you. I insist. It'll just come right back up. The best I can do is get him to eat a few bits of dried apple. Thanks. I feel much better, really. Can I sleep now, Katniss? He asks. Soon, I promise. I need to look at your leg first. Trying to be as gentle as I can, I remove his boots, his socks. And then slowly inch his pants off him. I can see the tear Kato's sword made in the fabric over his thigh, but it in no way prepares me for what lies underneath. The deep, inflamed gash oozing with both blood and pus, the swelling of the leg, and worst of all, the smell of festering flesh. I want to run away. Disappear into the woods like I did that day when they brought the burn victim to our house. Go and hunt, while my mother and Prim attend to what I have neither the skill nor the courage to face. But there is no one here but me. I try to capture the calm demeanor my mother assumes when handling particularly bad cases. Pretty awful, huh? Says Peta. He's watching me closely. So. I shrug like it's no big deal. You should see some of the people they bring my mother from the mines. I refrain from saying how I usually clear out of the house whenever she's treating anything worse than a cold. Come to think of it, I don't even much like to be around coughing. First thing is to clean it well. I've left on Peta's undershorts because they're not in bad shape, and I don't want to pull them over the swollen thigh. And alright, maybe the idea of him being naked makes me uncomfortable. That's another thing about my mother and Prim. Nakedness has no effect on them. Gives them no cause for embarrassment. Ironically, at this point in the games, my little sister would be far more used to Peta than I am. I scoop my square of plastic under him so I can wash down the rest of him. With each bottle, I pour over them. The worse the wound looks, the rest of his body has fared pretty well. Just the one tracker sting and a few small burns that I treat quickly. With a gash on his leg. What on earth can I do for that? Why don't we give it some air? And then, I trail off. And then you'll patch it up, says Peta. He looks almost sorry for me, as if he knows how lost I am. That's right. I say. In the meantime, you'll eat these. I put a few dried peared halves in his hands and go back in the stream to wash the rest of his clothes. When they're flattened out and drying, I examine the contents of the first aid kit. It's pretty basic stuff. Bandages, fever pills, medicine to calm stomachs. Nothing of the caliber I'll need to treat Peta. We're gonna have to experiment some, I admit. I know the tracker leaves draw out infections, so I'll start with those. Within minutes of pressing the handful of chewed up green stuff into the wound, pus begins running down the side of his leg. I tell myself this is a good thing, and bite the inside of my cheek hard, because my breakfast is threatening to make a reappearance. Katniss. Peta says. I meet his eyes, knowing my face must be some shade of green. He mouths the words. How about that kiss? I burst out laughing, because the whole thing is so revolting, I can't stand it. Something wrong? Yes, a bit too innocently. I'm no good at this. I'm not my mother. I have no idea what I'm doing, and I hate pus. I say, ugh. I allow myself to let out a groan. I see why he's on the tablet. You'll understand over time. He's such a good character. I love Peta. Book Peta is so fucking good, I tell you. It's so good. I think we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it later. We'll just talk about it later. I allow myself to groan as I rinse away the first round of leaves and apply the second. Ugh. How do you hunt? He asks. Trust me, killing things is much easier than this, I said. Although, for all I know, I am killing you. Can you speed up a little bit? No, shut up and eat your pears, I say. After 3 applications. It's really not funny, but like, it's moments like this when I'm just like, I love these two together. I really just love these two together. They're like the exact dynamic that you would hope for with somebody that you love. Like, they're just really funny. To me, they're very funny. After 3 applications and what seems like a bucket of pus, the wound does look better. Now that the swelling has gone down, I can see how deep Cato's cut was, right down to the bone. And we remember what happened to the last guy who was cut down to the bone. Oh, it's sick, Suzanne Collins. How would I get my hands on you? Suzanne Collins, when I get my fucking hands on you. Oh, when I get my hands on you. What's next, Dr. Aberdeen? Yes. Maybe I'll put some of the burn ointment on it. I think it helps with infection anyway. And wrap it up. I say. I do, and the whole thing seems a lot more manageable, covered in clean white cotton. Although, against the sterile bandage, the hem of his undershorts look filthy and teeming with contagion. I pull out Rue's backpack. Here, just like the rest of my family. I say, I care, alright? I turn my back and look at the stream until the undershorts splash in the current. You must be feeling a little bit better if you can throw. You know, you're kind of squeamish for such a lethal person, says PETA. As I beat the shorts clean with 2 rocks. I wish I'd let you give Image a shower afterwards. I wrinkle my nose at the memory. What's he sent you so far? Not a thing, says PETA. And then there's a pause as it hits him. Why? Did you get something? Burn medicine, I say almost sheepishly. Oh, and some bread. I always knew you were his favorite, says PETA. Please, I can't stand being in the same room with... Oh my god, that scared me. You can't stand being in the same room with me, I say. And you know what else I say? I say that we're hitting our top of the hour ad break, which means if you're hungry, tired, and or sleepy and need to head out for any reason, please go do that. Please take care of yourself in whatever way resonates for you, because the top of the hour ad break is gonna hit for you whether or not you want it to or not. So you might as well take care of You might as well take care of yourself in whatever way resonates for you, unless you are in fact subscribed to your favorite puppkats. Hi, hello, that's me. Wow. As always, I'm getting hungry while I read this. It's always and forever with this book. Because you're alike, mutters PETA. I ignore it. Though, because this isn't really the time for me to be insulting Image, which is my first impulse. I let PETA doze off while his clothes dry out, but by late afternoon, I don't dare wait. Do you not have snacks at your desk? I do, but I don't want to eat them. I want to eat a meal. I want to eat a meal. I have a snack cart. Right by my desk, but it's mostly candy and some chips, which it was a very fun ASMR stream where I just sat and I ate ice and chips the whole stream for like 2 hours. But like, chips aren't really gonna fill me up right now. I need a meal. I need a big boy meal for my big boy tummy. Okay. And I'll eat after stream. It's okay. I think I just like don't like eating while I stream because like, to be completely honest, like streaming is like a whole different thing. And like when I eat, I like to watch TV. When I eat, like I like to watch like a video or like be on my phone, and like I have a system with eating, and I just can't do that while I stream. The closest I came to like eating on stream was like when I get like a treat stream, then I'll eat it on stream, or like when we do like a donathon, then I'll eat on stream, maybe at once, but typically I'll just end the stream and then I'll eat. Alright, back into the book. PETA is dying. And not in a jokey way, for real. PETA, we've gotta go now. Go. He seems confused. Go where? Away from here. Downstream, maybe. Somewhere where we can hide you until you're stronger, I say. I help him dress, leaving his feet bare so we can walk in the water, and pull him upright. His face drains of color the moment he puts weight on his leg. Come on, you can do this. Yeah, to the bone. Honestly, okay, so it's because of the mud. To be completely honest, like, it's because of the mud. And at a certain point, Katniss explained earlier that when you get cut that badly, which is true, actually, if you get cut that badly, your body is no longer sending pain receptors to your brain, so you don't even feel it. When you have injuries that are that bad, down to the bone, your body, you don't even feel that pain anymore. Like, you go numb to it because your body would literally go into shock feeling pain like that. So to protect you, your body just cuts off all that feeling. So it was that, and then him putting himself in the mud, which kept him cool enough that it staved off his fever for a little bit longer. Because that fever could have killed him too, to be completely honest. The fever and the infection that he was getting, literally from that fucking leg, and the rest of the tracker, everything, goddamn. But Peta is a thinker. You got in that mud, baby. You got those cake decorating skills to use, baby. Well, but he can't. Not for long, anyway. We make it about 50 yards downstream with him propped up on my shoulder, and I can tell he's gonna black out. I sit him on the bank, push his head between his knees, and pat his back awkwardly as I survey the area. Of course, I'd love to get him up in a tree, but that's not gonna happen. It could be worse, though. Some of the rocks form cave-like structures. I set my sights on one about 20 yards above the stream. When Peta's able to stand, I have guide, have carry him up to the cave. I'd really like to look around for a better place, but this one will have to do because my ally is shot, paper white, panting, and even though he's only just cooling off, he's shivering. I cover the floor of the cave with a layer of pine needles, unroll my sleeping bag, and tuck him into it. I get a couple of bills and some water into him when he's not noticing, but he refuses to eat even the fruit. Then he just lies there, his eyes trained on my face, as I build a sort of blind out of vines to conceal the mouth of the cave. The result is unsatisfactory. An animal might not question it, but a human would see hands had manufactured it quickly enough. I tear it down in frustration. Katniss, he says. I go over to him and brush the hair back from his eyes. Thanks for finding me. You would have found me if you could, I say. His forehead's burning up, like the medicine's having no effect at all. Suddenly, out of nowhere, I'm scared he's gonna die. Yes. Look, if I don't make it back, he begins. Don't talk like that. I didn't drain all that pus for nothing, I say. I know, but just in case I don't and he tries to continue. No, Peta, I don't even want to discuss it, I say, placing my fingers on his lips to quiet him. But he insists. Impulsively, I lean forward and kiss him, stopping his words. This is probably overdue anyway, since he's right. We are supposed to be madly in love. It's the first time I've ever kissed a boy, which should make some sort of impression, I guess. But all I can register is how unnaturally hot his lips are from the fever. I break away and pull the edge of the sleeping bag up around him. You're not gonna die. I forbid it. Alright? Alright, he whispers. I step out in the cool evening air just as the parachute floats down from the sky. My fingers quickly undo the tie, hoping for some real medicine to treat Peta's leg. Instead, I find a pot of hot broth. Image couldn't be sending me a clearer message. One kiss equals up 1 pot of broth. I could almost hear a snarl. You're supposed to be in love, sweetheart. The boy's dying. Give me something I can work with. And he's right. If I want to keep Peta alive, I've got to give the audience something more to care about. Star-crossed lovers desperate to get home together, 2 hearts beating as one. Romance. Never having been in love. This is gonna be a real trick. I think of my parents. The way my father never failed to bring our gifts from the woods. The way my mother's face would light up at the sound of his boots at the door. The way she almost stopped living when he died. And I just want to say, like, this is also part of the problem with Katniss and romance, right? Because, like, Katniss too does not understand romance because, like, She doesn't understand what she actually feels for Peta because she is put in a situation where she has to navigate those feelings while also like actively trying to keep them both alive in like a death game where everybody in the world knows what is happening about her love life. Like, could you imagine? Like, of course I don't want to fucking think about that right now. Of course Katniss is like, bro, I'm not trying to think about that right now. I'm really not. Because like I was thinking about this earlier with the whole situation where like Katniss doesn't want to see anybody naked and then immediately has to strip Peta, and it's like everybody at home is watching that scene. Everybody at home is watching that. Like your friends, your family, the fucking grocer is watching that. The person that you sell your meat to is watching that. Is watching you kiss this boy back at home. Like I would literally die. I think I'd just kill myself. Like not. No tea, no shade, but I think I would just, because like that, yeah. I don't even like it when people look at me for too long. You're telling me people are gonna watch me have my first kiss on live TV? Oh fuck no. Hell no. Katniss is stronger than I am. Katniss is stronger than US Marines, I tell you what. Peta, I try to say in the special tone that my mother only uses from my father. He's dozed off again, but I kiss him awake, which seems to startle him. Then he smiles as if he'd be happy to just lie there gazing at me forever. He's great at this stuff. Katniss, I'm so tired. She's like, oh my god, he's so good at pretending to be in love with me. So good at it. I hold up a pot. Peta, look what Amy just sent you. Mac, this is why I like Peta. That's a yearner. We have to bring back yearners. People don't yearn like they used to. I think I'm a yearner. I really do. I believe in my yearning. I am a yearner. And there just aren't people like me anymore. There just aren't people like me anymore. Honestly and truly, like, where is the romance? Where is looking at somebody as though they are the only thing in the world that matters? Where is the, oh my gosh, like, I cannot believe I haven't talked to you in 15 minutes moments? Like, I haven't seen you in less than 24 hours. That's crazy. I need to see you again. I'm afraid of committing to yearning because of all the boys saying that it's an ick. Those people are really sad. Those people are really sad. Everything is an ick to somebody. Why? What's that? That quote? Oh, it's so good. Where it's like, fuck. I cannot remember what it is. It comes from Twitter. It's like sometimes Twitter has like the most like awe-inspiring like tweets. It's Twitter and Tumblr that have like, sometimes somebody will say something and it will just make you like, and it will just like make you like rethink your entire life. But it was underneath the post of, and I actually know this couple on TikTok, the cosplay couple, and fuck, it's so good. It's like, don't ever shrink yourself or don't ever change yourself to fit expectations of what society wants, because then you lose the chance to be loved as you are. And I constantly think about that. I have like the direct quote is much better than the one I just paraphrased it, but like, and it was underneath the TikTok couple that cosplays together. And actually, she was sharing, it's a, I think, actually, I don't know she uses she they pronouns. I think she uses she her pronouns. I'm gonna use them if I'm wrong. I'm sorry. But I'm wrong. I'm sorry. But it's underneath her because she was talking about how she was married before and she got divorced because her ex-partner hated the fact that she cosplayed and hated all of the little things that she did. She's really into like cottagecore and she like likes cosplay. She does like really popular like Mario cosplays that go super viral all the time. Her and her partner, and both of them like do like gender bend cosplays that goes like super viral online all the time. And they were showing off their wedding, and they had like a cottagecore wedding. After she got divorced, she found him via cosplay, and like they had a cottagecore wedding made out of like they had these little trinkets for each other that just like matched the vibe. And it really is like that, where it's like when you are not yourself, you lose the chance to be loved exactly as how you are. And I think that that's why we need to bring back yearning, because like people are pretending to be people that they're not, and it's very sad. And we should just like be ourselves and let ourselves be loved as ourselves. And that's coming from somebody who literally has been like 16 different people in my life. Like, I mean, I was just talking about it when I was playing Stardew Valley. I was like super surreal to like look back and like replay that cutscene and like experience it at a different point in my life where I'm like a completely different person. And it's like I've been so many different people for so many different other people in my life. And at a certain point, you just have to sit there and ask yourself whether or not you want to be loved for who you are, or you're okay with being loved for a version of yourself that isn't exactly you. And this is all to say that I love PETA. This is all for me to say that I love PETA. Because I would... There's a quote, and I want to say it so bad, but it's in the second book, but I won't. There's a quote about PETA that I think about all the fucking time. I should spoil it. I should spoil it because that quote, that sums up their entire dynamic in my opinion. But I'll leave it alone. I'll leave it alone. Anyway, that's my stomach. Anyway. What are we doing tonight? It's the same thing that we're always doing, Brady. We're reading The Hunger Games. I'm almost done with it, actually. Not my stomach joining on the stream. My stomach said The Hunger Games. I know about that. My stomach said, yup, I know about that. I'm almost done with the book. We're almost there. We're like 100 pages, 200 pages left from being done. But I keep getting distracted, so. Try to take over the world. I know, I had the exact same thought. I had the exact same thought. Yeah, that's why I say I'm like... Oh, I was about to say, that's why I say I'm like not an ASMRist, because like I feel like other ASMRists would do different stuff every single night, but it's like, nah bro, like you're gonna get the exact same shit from me until I don't want to do it anymore. That's like every single puppkat stream. It's like, yeah, have you guys seen Story of Seasons in a minute? No. I wonder why I played that game like it was my fucking job. Every single night I was playing that fucking game. I was playing Story of Seasons every single fucking night on stream. Couldn't get enough Story of Seasons. And then Stardew Valley had an update, and that's the end of Story of Seasons. I'll play that whenever I feel like it again. Same thing with like a study with me ASMR stream. when's the last study with the ASMR stream you've gotten? Ain't nobody trying to work right now. I'm trying to read this book. I don't know, I just like doing stuff that I like until I no longer like doing it. It's really just that simple. It's like, if I like something, I'm just gonna keep doing it, and then when I don't like it anymore, I just stop. The Animal Crossing arc was fun, but also it was very annoying to end because I played Animal Crossing for so long, and then no one would let it the fuck go. Like, no one let it go. Like, everybody was like, oh, like, more Animal Crossing, and I was like, nah, you guys had like 2 years of Animal Crossing, that's enough. I've had enough. But you know, it's understandable because then I became like the Animal Crossing streamer, but it's like, oh my god, please. Please free me from this Animal Crossing hell. That is until Animal Crossing, you know. If Animal Crossing ever updates, I will be back on that shit. I will definitely be playing Animal Crossing if they ever update again. But I fucking doubt it because like the Switch 2 is gonna come out. And you know, Nintendo can't make a good game to save their fucking life, so that's probably not gonna happen for a while. Anyway. Chapter 20. You actually have not asked me this. Isn't Kingdom Hearts like long as hell? I've never played Kingdom Hearts a day in my life. I literally don't know anything about Kingdom Hearts. Everything I know about Kingdom Hearts is gay, homosexual, gay. Rin, is that a character? Rin, Rika, is that a character? Is that a character? Big key sword, keyblade, that's what it's called, keyblade. Dark Mickey. Dark Mickey. And that's it. Oh, and big shoes. Big fucking big steppers. Big pepper steppers. That's all I know. But isn't that game like really long? I don't know about that because I also have Persona that I've been avoiding playing on stream because that game is really long too, apparently. Anyway, chapter 20. Getting the broth into pita takes an hour of coaxing, begging, threatening, and yes, kissing. But finally, sip by sip, he empties the pot. I let him drift off to sleep then, and attend to my own needs, wolfing down a supper of goosling and roots while I watch the daily report in the sky. No new casualties. Still, Pita and I have given the audience a fairly interesting day. Hopefully the game makers will allow us a peaceful night. I automatically look around for a good tree to nestle in before I realize that's over, at least for a while. I can't very well leave Pita unguarded on the ground. I left the scene of his last hiding place on the bank of the stream untouched. How could I conceal it? We were a scant 50 yards downstream. I put on my glasses, placed my weapons in readiness, and settled down to keep watch. The temperature drops rapidly, and soon I'm chilled to the bone. Eventually, I give in and slide into the sleeping bag with Pita. It's toasty, warm, and I snuggle down gratefully until I realize, more than warm, it's overly hot, because the bag is reflecting back his fever. I check his forehead and find it burning and dry. I don't know what to do. I just had a thought, why do people ask, like, what I'm doing when I put in the stream title? Like, this has nothing to do with the fucking book. I'm just like thinking about it. I'm like, I write a stream title. Like, I write a stream title. I put a category. Like the stream title. Like, why do I write a stream title? I should have a stream with no fucking title in it. I actually spent time writing a stream title. And I honestly, I answer that question every single time. But I just thought about it and I was like, why the fuck do I answer that question? Like, why do I answer that question? It's in the title. I wrote it there. But okay, let me get back to the book. I just had a thought. I leave him in the bag and hope the axis of heat breaks the fever. Take him out and hope that the night air cools him off. I end up just dampening a strip of bandage and placing it on his forehead. It seems weak, but I'm afraid to do anything too drastic. I spend the night half sitting, half lying next to Peta, refreshing the bandage and trying not to dwell on the fact that by teaming up with him, I've made myself far more vulnerable than when I was alone, tethered to the ground, on guard, with a very sick person to take care of. But I knew he was injured, and I still came after him. I'm just gonna have to trust that whatever instinct sent me to find him was a good one. When the sky turns rosy, I notice the sheen of sweat on Peta's lip and discover the fever is broken. He's not back to normal, but it's come down a few degrees. Last night, when I was gathering vines, I came across a bush of rose berries. I strip off the fruit and mash it up in a broth pot with cold water. Peta's struggling to get up when I reach the cave. I woke up and you were gone, he says. I was worried about you. I have to laugh and ease him back down. You were worried about me. Have you taken a look at yourself lately? I thought Kato and Clove might have found you. They like to hunt at night, he says, still serious. Clove? Which one is that? The girl from District 2. She's still alive, right? He says. Yes. There's just them and us and Thresh and Foxface. I say, that's what I nicknamed the girl from 5. How do you feel? Better than yesterday. It's an enormous improvement over the mud. He says, clean clothes and medicine and a sleeping bag. And you. Oh, right. The whole romance thing. I reach out to touch his cheek, and he catches my hand and presses it against his lips. I remember my father doing this very thing to my mother, and I wonder where Peta picked it up. Surely not from his father in the Wish. No more kisses for you until after you've eaten, I say. We get him propped up against the wall, and he obediently swallows mouthfuls of the berry mush I feed him. He refuses the gruesling again, though. You didn't sleep, says Peta. I'm alright, I say, but the truth is I'm exhausted. Sleep now. I'll keep watch. I'll wake you if anything happens, he says. I hesitate. Katniss, you can't stay up forever. He's got a point there. I'll have to sleep eventually. And probably better to do it now when he seems relatively alert and we have daylight on our side. Alright. I say, but just for a few hours, then you wake me. It's too warm for the sleeping bag now, but I smooth it out on the cave floor and lie down, one hand on my loaded bow just in case I have to shoot at a moment's notice. Peta sits beside me, leaning against the wall, his bad legs stretched out before him, his eyes strained on the world outside. Go to sleep, he says softly. His hand brushes loose strands of my hair off my forehead. Unlike the stage kisses and caresses so far, this gesture seems natural and comforting. I don't want him to stop, and he doesn't. is still stroking my hair when we fall asleep. Too long. I sleep too long. I know the moment I open my eyes and we're into the afternoon. Pete is right beside me, his position unchanged. I sit up, feeling somehow defensive but better rested than I've been in days. Peta, you were supposed to wake me after a couple of hours, I say. For what? Nothing's going on here, he says. Besides, I like watching you sleep. You don't scowl. Improves your looks a lot. This, of course, brings on a scowl that makes him grin. That's when I notice how dry his lips are. I test his cheek. Hot as a coal stove. He claims he's been drinking, but the containers still feel full to me. I give him a few more beaver pills and stand over him while he drinks the first one, and then a second quart of water. I tend to his minor wounds, the burns, the stings, which are showing improvement. I steel myself, and then unwrap the leg. My heart drops to my stomach. It's worse. Much worse. There's no more pus and evidence, but the swelling has increased, and the tiny, shiny skin is inflamed. Then I see the red streaks starting to crawl up his leg. Blood poisoning. Unchecked, it will kill him for sure. My chewed up leaves and ointment won't make a dent in it. We'll need some strong anti-infection drugs from the capital. I can't imagine. The cost of such potent medicine. If Hamish pooled every donation from every sponsor, would he have enough? I doubt it. The gifts go up in price the longer the games continue. What buys a full meal on day 1 buys a cracker on day 12, and the kind of medicine Peta needs would have been at premium from the beginning. Well, there's more swelling, but the pus is gone, I say in an unsteady voice. I know what blood poisoning is, Katniss, says Peta, even if my mother isn't a healer. You're just gonna have to outlast the others, Peta. They'll cure it at the capital when we win, I say. Yeah, that's a good plan, he says. But I feel this is mostly for my benefit. You have to eat. Keep up your strength. I'm gonna make you soup, he says. Don't light a fire, he says. It's not worth it. We'll see. I take the pot down to the stream. I'm struck by how brutally hot it is. I swear the game makers are progressively racking up the temperature in a day's time and setting it plummeting at night. The heat of the sun-baked stones by the steam gives me an idea, though. Maybe I won't need to light a fire. I settle down on a big flat rock halfway between the stream and the cave. After purifying half a pot of water, I place it in direct sunlight and add several egg-sized hot stones to the water. I'm the first to admit, I'm not much of a cook, but since soup mainly involves tossing everything into a pot and waiting, it's one of my better dishes. I mince grusling until it's practically mush and mash some of Rue's roots. Fortunately, they've both been roasted already, so they mostly need to be heated up. Already between the sunlight and the rocks, the water's warm. I put in the meats, the roots, swap in the fresh rocks, and go find something green to spice up a little. Before long, I discover a tuft of chives growing at the base of some rocks. Perfect. I chop them very fine and add them to a pot, switch out the rocks again, put on the lid, and let the whole thing stew. I've seen very few signs of game around, but I don't feel comfortable leaving Peta alone while I hunt, so I rig half a dozen snares and hope I get lucky. I wonder about the other tributes, how they're managing now that their main source of food has been blown up. At least 3 of them, Gato, Clove, and Foxface, have been relying on it. Probably not Thresh, though. I've got a feeling you must share some of Rue's knowledge on how to feed yourself from the earth. Are they fighting each other? Looking for us? Maybe one of them has located us, and is just waiting for the right moment to attack. The idea sends me back to the cave. Peta stretched out on top of the sleeping bag in the shade of the rocks. Although he brightens up a bit when I come in, it's clear he feels miserable. I put cool cloths on his head, but they warm up almost as soon as they touch his skin. Did you want anything? I ask. We might have to stop at chapter 21, because how long have I been going for? I think I've been going for a while. We might have to stop at the end of this chapter. Because I've been going for a hot minute. And something is telling me to go to bed. No, he says. Thank you. Wait. Yes. Tell me a story. A story? What about? I say I'm not much for storytelling. It's kind of like singing. But once in a while, Brim wheedles one out of me. Something happy. Tell me about the happiest day you can remember. Something between a sigh and a huff of aspiration leaves my mouth. A happy story. This will require a lot more effort than the soup. I rack my brains for good memories. Most of them involve Gale and me out hunting, and I somehow don't think these will play well with either Peta or the audience. That leaves Brim. Did I ever tell you about how I got Brim's goat? I ask. Peta shakes his head, looks at me expectantly. Yeah, I'm gonna clock out after. Pup is losing my mind. So I begin, but carefully, because my words are going out all over Panem, and while people have no doubt put two and two together that I hunt illegally, I don't want to hurt Gale or Greasy Say or the butcher or even peacekeepers back at home or my customers by publicly announcing they're breaking the law too. Here's the real story of how I got the money for Brim's goat, Lady. It was a Friday evening, the day before Brim's 10th birthday in late May. As soon as school ended, Gale and I hit the woods because I wanted to get enough to trade for a present for Brim. Maybe some new clothes, for a dress or a hairbrush. Our snares are done well enough, and the woods were flush with greens, but this was really no more than our average Friday night haul. I was disappointed as we headed back, even though Gale said we'd be sure to do better tomorrow. We were resting a moment by the stream when we saw him, a young buck, probably a yearling by his size. His antlers were just growing in, still small and coated in velvet. Posed to run, but unsure of us, unfamiliar with humans. Beautiful. Less beautiful, perhaps, when two arrows caught him, one in his neck, the other in his chest. Gale and I shot at the same time. The buck had tried to run but stumbled, and Gale's knife slit his throat before he knew what had happened. Momentarily, I felt a pang at killing something so fresh and innocent, and then my stomach rumbled at the thought of all that fresh and innocent meat. A deer. Gale and I have only brought down 3 in all. The first one, a doe, that had injured her leg somehow, almost didn't count, but we knew from that experience not to go dragging the carcass into the hob. It had caused chaos with people bidding on parts and actually trying to hack off pieces themselves. Greasy Say had intervened and sent us with our deer to the butcher, but not before it had been badly damaged, hunks of meat taken, the hide riddled with holes. Although everybody paid up fairly, it lowered the value of the kill. This time, we waited until dark fell and slipped under the hole in our fence to the butcher. Even though we were known hunters, it wouldn't have been good to go carrying a 150-pound deer through the streets of District 12 in daylight, like we were rubbing it in the officials' faces. The butcher, a short, clunky woman named Ruba, came to the back door when we knocked. You don't haggle with Ruba. She gives you one price, which you can take or leave, but it's a fair price. We took her offer on the deer, and she threw in a couple of venison steaks we could pick up after butchering. I'm dying. literally just falling apart. Alright, it's okay. Make it through. Just this last part. Even with the money divided between two, neither Gaylor nor I had held so much money at one time in our lives. We decided to keep it a secret and surprise our families with meat and money at the next day. This is really where I got the money for the goat. But I tell Peta I sold an old silver locket of my mother's. That can't hurt anyone. Then I pick up the story in late afternoon of Prim's birthday. Gail and I went to the market on the square so that I could buy dress materials. As I was running my fingers over the length of the blue cotton cloth, something caught my eye. There's an old man who keeps a herd of goats on the other side of the seam. I don't know his real name. Everyone just calls him the Goat Man. His joints are swollen and twisted and painful ankles. He's got a hacking cough that proves he spent years in the mines. But he's lucky. Somewhere along the way he saved up enough for these goats, and now has something to do in his old age besides slowly starve to death. He's filthy and impatient, but the goats are clean and their milk is rich if you can afford it. One of the goats, a white one with black patches, was lying down in a cart. It's easy to see why. Something, probably a dog, had mauled her shoulder and an infection had set in. It was bad. The Goat Man had tried to hold up milk to her, but I thought I knew someone who could fix it. Gail, I whispered. I want that goat for Prim. Owning a nanny goat can change your life in District 12. The animals can live off almost anything. The meadow's a perfect feeding place. It can give 4 quarts of milk a day to drink, to make into cheese, to sell. It's not even against the law. She's hurt pretty bad, said Gail. We better take a better look. We went over and bought a cup of milk to share, and then stood over the goat as if idly curious. Just let her be, said the man. Just looking, said Gail. Well, look fast. She goes to the butcher soon. Hardly anyone will buy her milk, and they only pay half the price. What's the butcher gonna... Oh my god, what's the butcher giving for her? My brain shut off. My brain fully just shut off. I asked. The man shrugged. Hang around and see. I turned and saw Ruba coming across the square toward us. Lucky thing you showed up, said the Goat Man when she arrived. Girl's got her eye on your goat. Not if she's spoken for, I said carelessly. Ruba looked me up and down and then frowned at the goat. She's not. Look at that shoulder. Bet you half the carcass will soon be too rotten for even a sausage. What? Said the Goat Man. We had a deal. We had a deal on an animal with a few teeth marks. Not that thing. Sell her to the girl if she's stupid enough to take her, said Ruba. As she marched off, I caught her wink. The Goat Man was mad, but he still wanted that goat off his hands. It took us half an hour to agree on the price. Quite a crowd had gathered by then to hand out opinions. It was an excellent deal if the goat lived. I'd been robbed if she died. People took sides in the argument, but I took the goat. Gail offered to carry her. I think he wanted to see the look on Prim's face as much as I did. In a moment of complete giddiness, I bought a pink ribbon and tied it around her neck, and then we hurried back to my house. You should have seen Prim's reaction when we walked in with that goat. Remember, this is a girl who wept to save that awful old cat Buttercup. She was so excited she started crying and laughing all at once. My mother was less sure. Seeing the injury, but the pair of them went to work on it, grinding up herbs and coaxing brews down the animal's throat. They sound like you, says Peta. I'd almost forgotten he was there. Oh no, Peta, they work magic. That thing couldn't have died if it tried, I say, but then bite my tongue, realizing that my sound Peta was dying in my incompetent hands. Don't worry, I'm not trying, he jokes. Finish the story. Well, that's it. Only I remember that night. Prim insisted started sleeping with Lady on a blanket next to the fire. And just before they drifted off, the goat licked her cheek, like it was giving her a goodnight kiss or something, I say. He was really mad about her. Was it still wearing the pink ribbon? Yes. I think so, I say. Why? I'm just trying to get a picture, he says thoughtfully. I can see why that day made you happy. Well, I knew a goat. I knew that goat would be a little gold mine, I say. Yes. Of course I was referring to that. Not the lasting joy you gave your sister you love so much you took her place in the reaping, says Peeta dryly. The goat has paid for itself 7 times over, I say in a superior tone. Well, it wouldn't dare to do anything else after you saved its life, says Peeta. I intend to do the same thing. Really? What did you cost me again? I ask. A lot of trouble. Don't worry, you'll get it all back, he says. You're not making any sense, I say, adjusts his forehead. The fever's going nowhere but up. You're a little cooler, though. The sound of trumpets startles me. I'm on my feet, at the mouth of the cave in a flash, not wanting to miss a syllable. It's my new best friend, Claudius Templesmith, and as I expected, he's inviting us to a feast. Well, we're not that hungry. And I actually wave his offer away in indifference. When he says, now hold on, some of you may already be declining my invitation, but this is no ordinary feast. Each of you needs something desperately. I do need something desperately. Something to heal Peeta's leg. Each of you will find that something in a backpack, marked with your district number at the cornucopia at dawn. Think hard about refusing to show up. For some of you, this will be your last chance, says Claudius. There's nothing else, just his words hanging in the air. I jump as Peeta grips my shoulder from behind. No, he says, you're not risking your life for me. Who said I was? I say. So you're not going? He asks. Of course I'm going. I'm not going. Give me some credit. Do you think I'm running straight into some free-for-all against Cato and Clove and Thresh? Don't be stupid, I say, helping him back to bed. I'll let them fight it out. We'll see who's in the sky tomorrow night and work out a plan from there. You're such a bad liar, Katniss. I don't know how you've survived this long. He begins to mimic me. I knew that would be a little gold mine. You're a little cooler, though. Of course I'm not going. He shakes his head. Never gamble at cards. You'll lose your last coin, he says. Anger flushes my face. Alright, I'm going, and you can't stop me. I can follow you. At least part way. I may not make it to the cornucopia, but if I'm yelling your name, you bet someone can find me, and then I'll be dead for sure, he says. You won't get 100 yards from here on that leg, I say. Then I'll drag myself, says Peeta. You go, and I'm going too. He's just stubborn enough, and maybe just strong enough to do it. Come howling after me in the woods. Even if a tribute doesn't find him, something else might. He can't defend himself. I'd probably have to wall him up in the cave just to go myself, and who knows what the exertion will do to him. What am I supposed to do? Sit here and watch you die? I say. He must know that's not an option, that the audience would hate me, and frankly I would hate myself too if I didn't even try. I won't die. I promise. If you promise not to go, he says. We're at something of a stalemate. I know I can't argue him. I can't argue him out of this one, so I don't try. I pretend, reluctantly, to go along. Then you have to do what I say. Drink your water, wake me when I tell you, and eat every bite of the soup, no matter how disgusting it is. I snap at him. Agreed. Is it ready? He asks. Wait here, I say. The air has gone cold, even though the sun's still up. I'm right about the game makers messing with the temperature. I wonder if the thing someone needs desperately is a good blanket. The soup is still nice and warm in the iron pot, and it actually doesn't taste too bad. Peeta eats without complaint, even scraping out of the pot to show his enthusiasm. He rambles on about how delicious it is, which should be encouraging if you don't know what fever does to people. He's like listening to Hamish before the alcohol has soaked him into incoherence. I give him another dose of fever medicine before he goes off his head completely. As I go down to the stream to wash up, all I can think about is he's gonna die if I don't go to that feast. I'll keep him going for a day or two, and then the infection will reach his heart, or his brain, or his lungs, and he'll be gone. And I'll be here alone, again, waiting for the others. I'm so lost in thought that I almost missed the parachute, even though it floats right by me, and I spring after it, yanking it from the water, tearing off the silver fabric to reveal a vial. Hamish has done it. He's gotten the medicine. I don't know how, persuaded some gaggle of romantic fools to sell their jewels, and I can save Peta. It's such a tiny vial, though. Must be very strong to cure someone as ill as Peta. A ripple of doubt runs through me. I uncork the vial and take a deep sniff. My spirits follow the sickly sweet scent. Just to be sure, I place a drop on the tip of my tongue. There's no question. It's sleep syrup. It's a common medicine in District 12, cheap, as medicine goes, but very addictive. Everyone, almost everyone, has had a dose at one time or another. We have some in a bottle at home. My mother gives it to hysterical patients to knock them out, to stitch up a bad wound, to quiet their minds, or just to help someone in pain get through the night. It only takes a little. A vial this size could knock Peta out for a full day. What good is that? I'm so furious, I'm about to throw Hamish's last offering into the stream when it hits me. A full day. That's more than I need. I mash up a handful of berries so the taste won't be noticeable. Add some mint leaves for good measure. Then I head out back to the cave. I brought you a treat. I found a new patch of berries a little further downstream. Peta opens his mouth with the first bite without hesitation. He swallows, then frowns slightly. They're very sweet. Thank you for the follow, introverted AF1. Thank you. Very much appreciated. I'm gonna put a heart in your honor. Thank you. I hope you're having a good day, night, wherever you are. There we go. Alright. Yes, there's sugar berries. My mother makes jam from them. Haven't you had them before? I say, poking the next spoonful into his mouth. No, he says, almost puzzled. But they taste familiar. Sugar berries. Well, you can't get them in the market much. They only grow wild, I say. Another mouthful goes down. Just one more to go. They're sweet as syrup, he says, taking the last spoonful. Syrup. His eyes widen as he realizes the truth. I clamp my hand over his mouth and nose hard, forcing him to swallow instead of spit. He tries to make himself vomit the stuff up, but it's too late. He's already losing consciousness. Even as he fades away, I can see in his eyes what I've done is unforgivable. I sit back on my heels and look at him with a mixture of sadness and satisfaction. A stray berry stains his chin and I wipe it away. You can't lie, Peta, I say, even though he can't hear me. It doesn't matter. The rest of Pan Am can. Chapter 21. And that's where we're gonna stop for tonight. Chapter 21. If my stomach wasn't killing me, honestly, we would just finish out this book because, like, we don't have that many chapters left. It's chapter 21, and then, like, we have maybe, like, it's really not that long. We have, like, 2 2 chapters after chapter 21. Yeah, we have like 21, 22, 23, 24. We have like literally that, and the book is done. So the book is like almost over. I want to have like a moment where after the book is done, we have a talk about it. So I'm probably gonna do that the next time I read it, because I'm gonna finish the rest of the book. Because it's like 4 chapters. So if my stomach was not literally killing me, we would just finish it. Whoa, relax. What just happened to my screen? We would just finish it. But it's like, I really need to go eat something. So I really need to go eat. I'm hungry, dying, and I'm becoming delirious just a little bit. So I'm gonna stop, and then we are gonna pick it up, and then we'll probably start the next book, like right after. We'll probably start the next book. After we have like a short talk about the book as a whole, then we'll just start catching fire. Like right after, we'll just get right into it, which will actually be really nice, because then we can do like a transition. A nice transition. We have a talk and then a transition into the next book, which is everybody's, which is the majority. I shouldn't say everybody's, because my favorite book is still Mockingjay, but it is most people's favorite book. So it's most people's favorite book. So I'll take that. And actually, I think it'd be really fun if, I know I still haven't done the, what is it called? The Discord movie night. I actually think it'd be really fun if we watch the Hunger Games afterwards, because like, I literally just read the book for like 2 weeks and then we watch it. I think that would be a perfect transition with a movie night. Just throwing that out there. I know I already voted Hunger Games, but I voted it because it's good. I voted it because it's good and I love it. It's a good book. But anyway, high school teacher reading. It's fun. It's really fun to do. It is really fun. It's a lot of fun to read. It's a lot of fun to read and then watch the movie, and then we can talk about what the heck just happened, all the differences. It's fun. It's nice. It's chill. I don't know when I'm gonna be back, to be completely honest. I have zero idea. I haven't decided. I wasn't even supposed to stream today, and then I just decided to stream. Wheel out the TV, if only I could. I honestly don't even know how to do it via Discord. We should probably do that movie night pretty soon, but I'm gonna finish the book pretty soon. But what was I gonna say? Yep. I was going to say that yeah, we're probably gonna watch that because I think it'd be fun, since I did actually read it for like 3 weeks. But we'll finish the book and then we'll do Hunger Games Catching Fire afterwards next time. Yeah, I'll post in Discord about what happened tonight. I just don't feel like saying it on stream. And then what's next? I'll be back at some point. I'm not gonna transition to the ending screen because it's just too much. I will. What am I gonna do? I don't know when I'm gonna stream again, so who knows? Who knows? It might be tomorrow. It might be Thursday. Who knows? It's whenever Pup wants to stream. I'm going to raid. Oh my god, I really have to end my. I'm like dying. I need a drink. I just realized how dry my lips are. Fuck, Peta. This is so dry, and for why? Everything is like falling apart. Like the whole stream. Like nothing is loading. Help me. Yeah, if I stream tomorrow, it might just be the ASMR, because I might just want to do. Oh my god, Jesus Christ. I might just want to do 2 days of ASMR just to knock out the book. Go feed yourself. No, it's okay. I already know I'm gonna raid. Oh shit, snooze that ad. Snooze the ad. I didn't even realize an ad was coming. Oh shit, I hit the button. No! The ad. I can't snooze it. I can't snooze the ad. God damn it. I can't snooze the ad. Okay, anyway, I know I'm gonna raid. saw there was an ad and I literally can't snooze it. This sucks. I hate it here. Hopefully that snoozed the ad. I really tried. I'm gonna rate Vegetables, who's doing a Stardew Valley stream. They're not doing ASMR, it's just Stardew Valley. Oh my god. I don't know why nothing is working for me right now. I'm begging, I'm hoping. I don't know why everything's going super slow. I want to raid into Stardew Valley. I'm just gonna start it and hope that it works. No, it didn't. No, not even a little bit. If I have someone's name, I could just type it in chat /raid. I can just do that. Is anything working I don't like doing it that way because I literally cannot see shit. There we go. Does that start it? No, that didn't do anything. That didn't do a damn thing. Oh, maybe they don't accept raids. I just tried it. No, but then why did they show up? Let me see. Pup is trying their best. Jesus Christ. Every day with me. Everything's falling apart. It's like at the last second. Everything's falling apart. I think it's like Twitch. Like, I don't really know what's going on. Okay, it's fine. I'm like, I hate not rating, but okay. I hate not rating. I feel weird not doing it. I feel like weird not doing it, but let me see. Oh my god, they spelled it with G. I try it one more time. Oh, it has. Okay, great. I'm gonna be back if no one's told you that you're. Oh my god, that's so fast. If no one's told you. Oh my god, Jesus Christ. If no one has told you that you are in fact loved, you are, and your place in this world is so important and so valued. And you're loved, and you deserve the world and all the nice things. And I'm so happy to tell you that because someone should tell you every single day. I'll be back at some point this week, either tomorrow or Thursday, doing something, probably ASMR or not. I don't know. It's whatever I feel like doing. Anyway, I don't do raid messages, so you know, just use the raid emote if you want to. And I'm gonna go eat because my stomach is eating my asshole right now. So